At the dawn of creation, when the primordial ancestor awakened from his slumber to save countless sentient beings, he sealed his memories and powers into mortal form as Yin Yun. He led mortal Yin Yun into reincarnation, experiencing a life similar to the one he had lived 1,000 years ago. Only when Yin Yun embraced his mortal existence and vanquished evil once again, could the danger be dispelled. Upon awakening, he bore within him the power of destruction, and to him, even the mighty demon king appeared as a mere kitten, and the divine fruit of 2,000 years seemed fit only for a dog's consumption. Under the sky atop Fu Yun Mountain, clouds gathered and thunder roared, signaling the eruption of the rare 7-leaf red fruit after 1,000 years. Two strange beams of light appeared in the sky, colliding and plummeting to the earth, revealing their true forms upon impact. As the dust settled, a demon cat emerged, emitting a furious aura beyond compare. The 7-leaf red fruit is the key to victory in the 3-sect martial arts competition. Not even a condensation realm great demon can stop me. Facing off against the demon cat was Yun Jian sect master, Su Changfeng. Su Changfeng gripped his sword and summoned his strength to charge straight at the demon cat, prepared for a battle of life and death. However, just before the decisive moment, a sudden crack echoed out of nowhere. Both the demon cat and Su Changfeng turned to look as a sealing order was removed, followed by a triumphant laughter. Emerging from the dust was someone who exclaimed, "After so many years, Yin Yun has finally come out. What will our future on the mainland be like?" It turned out to be Yin Yun and Deau. Seeing the demon cat, Yin Yun joked with Deau, saying, "Look, Deau, there's a cat from a different world." Enraged at being called a mere cat, the demon cat charged furiously towards Yin Yun, only to suddenly transform from a ferocious beast into a small, innocent kitten, mewing softly. Witnessing this scene, Su Changfeng was taken aback. Seeing Yin Yun's calm demeanor in the face of the demon cat, he silently thought, a single word could transform a condensation realm beast back to its original form. He must be the expert sealed away in Mount Fu Yun for 1,000 years. With that realization, he stepped forward to introduce himself to Yin Yun, acknowledging that if not for the expert's intervention, he would surely have perished at the hands of the demon cat that day. "When did I look up you?" Yin Yun, with innocent curiosity, scratched his head before asking in return, "Isn't that demon cat just a cat?" Su Changfeng was shocked by the question, wondering to himself, is this really the world of the strong? He gestured towards the 7-leaf red fruit and told Yin Yun, "This 7-leaf red fruit belongs to you, expert." Before he could finish his sentence, he couldn't believe that the 2,000-year-old 7-leaf red fruit was being used by Yin Yun to feed dogs. "Expert, you haven't taken your 7-leaf red fruit," Su Changfeng called out as Yin Yun hurried away. But Yin Yun calmly replied, "I have plenty of these, so I'm giving them to someone else." Before leaving immediately, Su Changfeng bowed deeply, expressing his gratitude, saying, "Thank you, expert, for bestowing this treasure upon us." Yin Yun found this somewhat puzzling. "It's just some tomatoes, why make such a big deal out of it? Besides, I'm not even an expert," he thought to himself. He remembered back on Mount Fu Yun when he was just a mortal struck by lightning, thrown into a crossover without reason. He was even forced to learn various skills under a system, facing punishment if you run away, you will be struck by lightning into a dry corpse. Certainly, it was extremely difficult, just recalling it made Yin Yun shudder with cold sweat. Day by day, Yin Yun diligently worked to complete the tasks assigned by the system. It took 10 years, but finally, he learned how to lift the mountain ban. However, the system vanished without granting any rewards, leaving Yin Yun resentfully questioning, what kind of system doesn't reward you after crossing over without hacks? Reflecting on those memories, Yin Yun, while munching on a piece of meat, confided in Deau, "Deau, in the future, we'll live in different worlds. Want some food? Jump a bit higher." He joked happily with Deau, his mood filled with excitement. Suddenly, out of nowhere, appeared a beautiful young woman, her appearance urgent and frantic. She knelt down hastily and implored Yin Yun, "Young master, please help me." Seeing the beautiful woman suddenly seeking his aid, Yin Yun tossed aside the meat, took up the weapon in his hand, and declared confidently, "No problem." "Miss, are you lost?" The young woman hesitantly explained, "I'm being chased and hunted by evil cultivators." As soon as Yin Yun heard evil cultivators, he broke out in a cold sweat, then his attitude abruptly changed 180 degrees, "I am not duty-bound to help, bye." But before he could leave, the young woman shook her head, "It's too late, the evil cultivators have arrived." "Where?" Yin Yun turned back to look, and from behind him, a stream of murderous intent seemed to rush towards them. In an instant, the dark aura tightly enveloped the young woman, lifting her up despite her desperate cries. Despite the apparent danger, Yin Yun remained oblivious and looked around curiously, wondering, "Who's here?" Deau sat beside him, yawning with his mouth wide open, then suddenly emitted an incredibly powerful aura, causing the dark energy surrounding the girl to dissipate. Yin Yun turned back and asked, "Didn't you say the evil cultivators were here? Why didn't I see anything? And why are you sitting on the ground crying for no reason?" The young woman, having just faced a calamity, didn't expect such a question. She wiped her tears and silently thought, "If the dog is this formidable, how powerful is its master?" Then, she stood up and introduced herself to Yin Yun, "I'm Byui, thank you for saving me." "May I ask, Senior, are you?" Before she could finish her sentence, her mouth couldn't open anymore. She glanced at Deau beside her, then heard his voice saying, "Shoo, my master prefers modesty. It's better not to ask too many questions, young lady." Byui was surprised, this is secret sound transmission technique, indeed, dealing with experts is not something I can easily predict. Understanding, she quickly explained, "I, a weak girl, was blown down by the wind. Just now, my vision blurred, mistaking the demon wind for evil cultivators, blown down by the wind? Are you really that fragile?" Yin Yun, naively believing her, advised her to remember to drink plenty of hot water and exercise regularly. Byui brushed her hair back and confessed, "No need to hide anything. Young master. Since childhood, I've been afflicted with the illness of cold syndrome. Even the best doctors are helpless, and the treasures of nature can only sustain my life. Who can foresee such a tragic fate, where one falls into a wilderness of willows and strange flowers?" Yin Yun, feeling exasperated, muttered, "The people of this different world are truly troublesome. It's just a cold syndrome, there's no need to wax poetic about life and death like this." As soon as he finished speaking, Byui's eyes lit up, "Can you cure this illness, young master?" Yin Yun calmly replied, "It's a simple matter." Suddenly, Byui's complexion brightened. "Dare I ask, young master, what miraculous method you have for treatment? In my world, there's a mysterious system of divine healing." Yin Yun pulled out a giant, oversized cupping jar from within him. It turned out that the miraculous treatment method was cupping. As soon as Byui saw the jar, she seemed overwhelmed. "This jar is so big, I can't handle it." Yin Yun appeared extremely excited as he said, "Not only can it cure your cold syndrome, but it can also make you swoon with delight." He added, "After using it, you'll feel full of energy, your physical strength will be abundant, and you can wield your sword 8,000 times without feeling tired at all." Byui, startled, asked skeptically, "Wielding a sword 8,000 times, wouldn't that enhance cultivation?" Yin Yun laughed and replied, "Well, it's not entirely impossible." Hearing this, Byui pushed aside her doubts and eagerly said, "Let's try it now." Thus, Yin Yun led Byui back to his residence. Arriving at the elixir pharmacy of Mount Fu Yun, Yin Yun hesitated a bit. "However, with this method, you'll need to lie down on the bed and remove your clothes." Before he could finish, Byui had already undressed, blushing as she turned back shyly. "Sui is ready, please proceed, young master." Yin Yun smirked wickedly, "With such a fair back, not cupping would be a waste. It must be filled indeed." Before cupping, he pondered, but how do I remove the cup afterwards? He took out his phone from within himself, causing Byui to turn around sheepishly and ask, "Young master, are you calling me?" "Not calling you." Yin Yun quickly turned Sui back around, staring intently at his phone as he muttered to himself, figuring out how to remove the cupping jar. After a moment, it seemed Yin Yun found what he was looking for, his eyes lighting up. "Alright, anyway, she wouldn't understand, so let's just go with it," he said. Yin Yun then lit a candle and burned around the mouth of the cupping jar. As soon as it was burned, an extraordinary force swiftly enveloped Byui. The sky at this moment gathered clouds, emitting a golden light, while a powerful spiritual force emanated from Mount Fuyun. The people below the mountain, seeing the sky suddenly glowing with an unusual golden color, called out to each other, all kneeling down in reverence, "The spirit of Mount Fuyun has appeared, the spirit of Mount Fuyun has appeared." In a temple in the village, Gua Yun, with a puzzled expression, leaned against a pillar, looking up at the sky. Even Su Changfeng, standing on a nearby mountain range, took notice, his expression inscrutable. What could it be? He wondered, though it was already night, the room of Yin Yun and Byui still emanated an aura. Inside, Yin Yun was still diligently cupping Sui. She, feeling a bit impatient, asked, Young master, are you not finished yet?" "Just one final step," Yin Yun chuckled in response. After a while, the cupping was finally completed perfectly. Yin Yun looked at Byui's now blushing back, then turned to inquire, "How do you feel now?" Byui, holding her clothes, blushed and replied sheepishly, "Sui feels very hot all over, almost unbearable." As she finished speaking, Byui suddenly breathed out a flame, startling Yin Yun. "Can she really breathe fire?" he exclaimed. Byui, somewhat surprised herself, said, "The cold syndrome in my body has completely disappeared, and my cultivation has even increased by a whole realm." She happily boasted to Yin Yun, "Young master, this cupping method is truly effective." Of course, Yin Yun boasted proudly, "Our flower nation's traditional medicine is profound and has a long history, mainly." Suddenly, his expression turned serious. Byui approached him, asking, "Young master, is something wrong?" "See for yourself." Yin Yun presented the jar in front of Byui. As she looked inside, she was greeted by a pile of wriggling, slimy worms, causing her to scream loudly and reflexively push the jar out of Yin Yun's hand. As the jar fell, the mass of worms writhed on the floor. Yin Yun, unaware that there seemed to be something unusual about the worms, simply advised Byui to pay more attention to cleanliness in the future. Byui, on the other hand, kept nervously gesturing towards the back of Yin Yun, her face filled with fear. Behind Yin Yun were three enormous demon earthworms, approaching with a ravenous appetite. Unbeknownst to him, "Young master," Byui shouted fearfully, "there's a demon earthworm behind you." Hearing this, Yin Yun turned around and immediately faced the three grotesque demon earthworms directly. However, his expression remained strangely frozen. "My aquatic illusion mind trap has hit him, he can't move anymore," the other demon earthworm spoke. "Swallow him first, then eat that girl later." Without further ado, the demon earthworm immediately lunged to devour Yin Yun. He quickly dodged, continuously vomiting and lamenting, "Disgusting." The other demon earthworm, surprised by the sudden outburst, muttered, "A mortal couldn't see me, nor can he avoid me." Unwilling to relent, the demon earthworm continued to attack Yin Yun, but he skillfully evaded every strike, playing as if it were a game. He even appeared to be searching for something, saying, "Where is it? Where did it go? This is truly disgusting." After a thorough search, he finally found it, a fan. Byui, witnessing this, could only admire, truly an expert. Yin Yun, with a tense expression, turned back and asked, "Expert in what?" He wielded the fan forcefully, speaking with an angry tone, "Little sister, pay attention to hygiene in the future. This insect is too disgusting." The demon earthworm that was so formidable earlier now continuously fell victim to Yi Yun's strikes, unable to evade them. Witnessing the scene, Byui was rendered speechless. In her eyes, all she could see was Yi Yun battling the demon earthworms. After a while, Yi Yun used a cloth to wipe away the mess on the floor, causing the demon earthworms to vanish into thin air. Yi Yun sighed, finally, the air has been purified. Now, he looked at Byui and thought to himself, oh, I might have offended the female cultivator with my words. I hope that out of respect for cupping, if say sorry, you probably won't hit me. Yi Yun approached Byui with a smile and began, ahem, Sui, I helped you cure your cold syndrome, but regarding the hygiene, before Yi Yun could finish his sentence. Byui rushed forward and leaned on him, saying, young master's life-saving grace cannot be repaid. Sui is willing to offer herself in return. At this moment, she intended to fall into Qin Yun's arms to express her gratitude. However, he quickly dodged aside and angrily scolded, hey, little thief. This caused her to stumble and fall to the ground, her face flushed with embarrassment. Little thief dares to steal pears from this boss. Outside there is a boy climbing a tree to pick pears. The boy also noticed that the homeowner had seen him, so he became extremely panicked. Yi Yun was about to kick the window and chase after him when Sui loudly exclaimed, Yi young master, about what Sui just said. Before she could finish her sentence, Yi Yun interrupted, I have urgent matters to attend to. We'll talk about it later. After speaking, Yi Yun chased after the thief, shouting, hey, stop right there. You've already stolen, now you're running. The boy, startled, replied, I'll pay you back later, please don't chase me. Meanwhile, inside the room, Sui swayed and said, what's wrong with ye young master? Am I, a beautiful girl, not as valuable as those pears? Then she looked outside and exclaimed. Oh my, is that a 3,000-year-old Shen Tian spiritual fruit? She pondered, I wonder who ye young master really is and what his background is. At that moment, her jade pendant, a spiritual communicator, also sounded. She whispered, the sect is summoning me. There must be something significant happening. Meanwhile, at the Asking the Heart platform of the Nine Spirit sect, after running back for a while, Sui finally arrived and asked, Master, why did you urgently summon me? A disciple standing beside her said, Senior sister, Su Changfeng has made breakthroughs twice in one day. This time, the three sects are worried that our Jiuling sect will lose. Sui asked, why would that be? At this point, the master of the Jiuling sect, Gong Sunyu, sighed and said, all right. Throughout history, many have been deceived by false reputations. It's better to live with a false reputation than to endure. The first of the three sects is just a false reputation, our master doesn't care. Sui then spoke cheerfully, Master, don't worry. I have a plan now that can help you break through to the next realm and surpass the current situation. After hearing her, the master, who had just dismissed the importance of reputation, hurriedly approached Sui as if he were a rocket, grabbing her and asking, is this true? Why didn't you say so earlier? Sui explained, during my training outside, I encountered an expert who used a cupping technique. Not only can it eliminate toxins, but it also increased my cultivation by 3 levels. The master pondered silently, could this cupping technique be the legendary 3-foot true flame? But why would such an expert help us? Then Sui said, the junior sister greatly admires young master. Due to my persistent infatuation, I've run out of options. If master is willing to accept, then we will be a family in the future. As soon as she finished speaking, the master grabbed her and took her sword. There was no time to waste, but upon arriving at Mount Fu Yun, where Yi Yun resided, the master became furious, saying, it's impossible, absolutely impossible. This boy has no cultivation at all. There's no way he could be an expert. Below them, there was a marathon race among 3 participants, 2 humans and a dog. Currently, the thief was in the lead, followed by Yi Yun, and the dog was last. The master angrily exclaimed. You're clearly infatuated with handsome men to the point of madness. How dare you joke about it with your master? Sui, also concerned, said, Master, I really am infatuated with handsome men. Oh, I mean, I really didn't deceive you. At this moment, Yin Yun surged ahead and teased, Hey, kid, why aren't you running? Are you tired already? Suddenly, the kid was startled as a rabbit demon appeared ahead. Hee hee, let's see what I've found. A mortal and a kid with extraordinary bone. At that moment, 3 or 4 other pairs of gleaming red eyes chimed in, saying, The feast is here. Those 3 figures saw that there was a mortal, 100-year-old rabbit demon, and an extraordinary child on this side, and their mouths watered. At that moment, Suyi's master panicked and said, That's a demon of the condensation realm, we must go save him. Seeing her master rush, Sui tried to stop him. The old man became angry and said, Sui, what are you stopping me for? Remember, the mission of the Jiuling sect is to eradicate demons and ghosts. Faced with this situation, we certainly cannot stand idly by. She replied confidently, Sui is not afraid of life or death. Please don't worry, master. Yin Yun can handle this. The old man nodded and said, Let's see what he's capable of. At this point, the young thief was too frightened to run anymore, while Yin Yun kept playing around, asking, Why aren't you running anymore? The thief turned back in fear and said, Can't you see? Then the rabbit demon rushed in and said, Eating him can increase my cultivation by 500 years. Behind them, the 3 great demons chased eagerly, craving their prey. Eating them can increase our cultivation by 100 years, the rabbit demon said as it rushed closer, its aura thick and dense. The young thief thought this was the end, but then a hand grabbed the rabbit and it reverted back to its original form. The rabbit demon, confused by what was happening, struggled while Yin Yun said, This rabbit really likes you. The young thief felt his heart drop when he saw 3 great demons still approaching from behind. They swayed and said to each other, This one has some skill, but it's no match for us. There's nothing we can't handle. At this point, the old man said, This kid is in deep trouble now. Then Yin Yun saw them, feeling excited and arrogant. Like little monkeys and foxes, and even a female fox, watching this scene from the side, Sui was extremely anxious, covering her mouth with her hand, then calling out to her master. The old man, thinking Yin Yun was done for, turned away, saying, Sui, the dead cannot be brought back to life. I will personally find you another marriage. Sui pointed ahead and said to him, Master, young master has already subdued the great demons, and he didn't even need to use any magic. The old man turned back in alarm to see that 2 of the great demons had been grabbed by the neck and lifted up. They didn't understand why or how they had reverted to their original forms without being able to use any magic. The old man, astonished, said, Capturing condensation realm demonic beasts barehanded? Is this young master's cultivation at an extremely profound level to accomplish this so effortlessly? Yin Yun's eyes were now sinister, as if he wanted to cook these 2 demons, but then he hugged them and said, You guys belong to me now. What should I name you? How about Rabbit 8, Monkey Brother Hu Jing Jing, what do you think? At this point, the young thief marveled. Thinking, this person is too powerful. If I could worship him as my master, no one would dare bully me again. The monkey demon and fox demon also chirped and meowed to inform the bull demon, Big Brother Bull, have you seen the 2 little disciples, our younger siblings, being bullied? The bull demon then charged at Yin Yun with all his might. Seeing him coming, Yin Yun sighed with annoyance at these demons. They thought our house had too much rice to keep coming here like this. Thinking quickly, Yin Yun took out a red handkerchief, twirled it around, and then threw it. It disoriented the bull demon, who chased after the red handkerchief, running far away. Yin Yun wiped his sweat and said, It's done. But before 3 seconds had passed, there was a splash, and the bull demon got a free swimming lesson, leaving Yin Yun stunned as he said, Oh no, if this bull messes up the water in my pond, all the fish will probably die. At this point, the young thief called out, "Gentlemen, stop." But even more eager than him was Su Yi's master, who said, "This marriage proposal is extremely good, there's no time to waste. I'll go ask for your hand." "Wait. Wait, master, hold on. I haven't finished putting on makeup yet." Seeing Yin Yun running towards the pond, the young thief kept calling out, "Gentlemen," repeatedly, while behind them, Gong Sun Yu kept cheering. Afterwards, Gong Sun Yu respectfully said, "Gong Sun Yu of the Jiuling sect thanks the young master for helping to heal the frostbite for our Su Yi, allowing her to preserve her life." Seeing the courteous demeanor of the elder, Yin Yun waved his hand cheerfully and said, "It's nothing, just a small matter." The elder then adopted a serious expression and said, "A life-saving grace cannot be considered a small matter. The Jiuling sect wishes to propose a marriage alliance with ye young master so that little disciple Su Yi can repay the debt with her life." Hearing this, Yin Yun was taken aback and said, "What? I've only met her a few times. Even if we were to get married in the blink of an eye, this is too sudden. Isn't it a bit outdated to believe that seeing someone's body means they owe you their life? Are you too conservative?" But at that moment, the little bull great demon, who had been crying earlier, was now screaming underwater because there was an extremely terrifying presence down there, causing it immense horror. Then a holy dragon suddenly bit the little bull, almost devouring it whole, as if it was having breakfast. At this point, even the disciples realized that witnessing such a scene might not be possible in a lifetime, let alone a mere reincarnation. Terrified, Su Yi said, "Master, this is..." Seeing the two masters silent and serious, Yin Yun thought they were angry, so he waved his hands quickly and said, "Don't be angry, I was just kidding. Let me explain. Cupping involves removing clothing, entirely within the scope of a mortal's routine. I had no intention of disrespecting anyone. Perhaps there was a misunderstanding due to the doctor's kindness, so uncle might have misunderstood," Yin Yun murmured. Then suddenly, the elder knelt down and said, "Young master, you are extraordinary and transcendent. Gong Sun Yu is extremely respectful. Please accept me as your disciple." This action startled Yin Yun, who exclaimed, "What is this old man doing?" He quickly ran over to Su Yi and asked, "Is there something wrong with your master's head?" Su Yi replied, "Young master, don't worry. I won't let my master cause any trouble." Then she pulled him back and said resentfully, "Master, how could you do that? If you worship young master as your master, doesn't that mean he'll be my master's master? There is no master who would marry a disciple." The elder chuckled and said, "We each have our own perspectives, and they're not related." She shook her head firmly and said, "No, absolutely not." Seeing his disciple's firm stance, the elder said, "Forget about the marriage now, let's just worship him as our master." At that moment, another voice spoke up. "Or do you want Gong Sun Yu to sacrifice his disciple for your own benefit?" He pointed at the elder and scolded, "You're so lacking in morals, yet you still want to worship ye young master as your master." After being reprimanded, the elder couldn't stop swaying because what he said made sense, but then he said, "I'm different. Because I was the first one to meet ye young master, so if anyone is going to take disciples, it should be me first." The elder was pushed aside, so he chased after him to argue, "You annoying little thief, I arrived first." At this point, the two stood before Yin Yun and said, "Su Chang Feng, Gong Sun Yu is willing to worship young master as their master." Witnessing this scene again, Yin Yun was endlessly shocked, not understanding what they were doing. When he glanced over and saw Su Chang Feng kneeling on the ground, he bitterly thought, "What a cunning old thief, no need to show off, I'll kneel too." At this moment, Yin Yun helped the two stand up, but then he looked over and saw Gong Sun Yu also naturally kneeling down, which made Yin Yun feel quite irritated. "You two are over 100 years old and still kneeling like this, do you want me to suffer and die?" At this point, Yin Yun was quite angry and shouted loudly, "I'm just a mortal, why should I go and worship as a master?" The two old men looked at each other, not knowing what to say that would be reasonable. "Are you sure?" Or should you turn around and see first? As soon as he finished speaking, Yin Yun rolled his eyes and said, I'm filming this 100 times, I'm just a mortal. Shaking his head, Yin Yun continued, you're both leaders of sects and must be cautious in your words and actions. You're both my elders, and considering our ages, at most I can only be the master of this little demon. As soon as he finished speaking, the kid knelt down and bowed his head. Disciple Gua Yun pays respects to master. Seizing the opportunity, this kid caught on to the situation better than a master, leaving Yin Yun fuming and saying, seriously, are you mocking me? The two old men also stared in shock. Oh my, this kid wants to worship as a disciple too, and he's even been accepted. Then they rushed over and said, ye gentlemen, accepting us as disciples will make you the master of Jiuling sect, and everyone in Jiuling sect will obey you. Su Changfeng didn't want to be left behind either, so he said, the disciples of Yun Jian sect are much better in quality, ye gentlemen. Then, to diffuse the tension, Yin Yun called out to them, stop competing with each other. I've decided to accept this little demon as my disciple. If you both agree, we can go to Fu Yun Mountain for a meal and the worship ceremony. After a while, Yin Yun brought out the hot pot and placed it on the table. As they sat down to eat, the two old men kept exchanging glances, each feeling that the other had gained an advantage by having the little demon chosen. Yin Yun then placed the hot pot on the table and said, gentlemen, let's not be angry anymore. Let's enjoy our meal together. Look at the main dish I prepared today, a mixed vegetable hot pot like no other. As he lifted the lid, a radiant light emitted from the pot, dazzling everyone. Su Changfeng sweated nervously, saying, this light is a magical color weapon. The two old men were also astonished when they saw that the hot pot contained rare herbs such as 1,000-year-old phoenix grass, 3,000-year-old king mushrooms, bone-strengthening seaweed growing on rocks, primal essence crystals for enhancing the core, and demon-cleansing herbs to purify the meridians and strengthen the bones. Yin Yun stood by and listened to the two old men discussing, then he asked with a full head. Isn't this supposed to be a carrot meeting? Why is there a whole passage? Su Yi asked. Does ye gentlemen really want to invite us to eat this? After seeing Yin Yun nod, the three of them eagerly grabbed their chopsticks. Since each chopstick could increase cultivation by 10 years, no one wanted to yield to anyone else. Yin Yun wiped his sweat and said, are you not feeling the spiciness? This is an extremely spicy hot pot. Gong Sun Yu chimed in, isn't it like feeling a burning sensation in your chest, like it's about to ignite? Then Su Yi, on the side, started spewing flames like in an action movie, while the old man stroked his beard and said, it seems like this is the effect of this hot pot. Su Yi ran around the courtyard spewing flames like she was at a circus, making Yin Yun exclaim, mortals don't spew flames when eating hot pot. Hurry up and get some water to put out the fire, but Gong Sun Yu stopped he, saying, this is Su Yi's breakthrough in her inner fire. It can't be extinguished. Suddenly, Su Changfeng felt something, sensing spiritual energy swirling around him. Then he laughed heartily and emitted a powerful aura, leaving Yin Yun astonished and asking, how can he do that? Su Changfeng drew his sword with a solemn expression, then leaped into the sky, creating a spectacular display before swinging his sword wildly. Then he laughed and said, I understand now. I finally understand. Yin Yun, looking pale, asked, how can you understand from eating carrot? Just as Su Yi stopped spewing flames and said, Master, young master, I've broken through to the great enlightenment realm, the old man trembled and said, very good. When Yin Yun looked back, he jerked in surprise, asking, what happened to you? Did you develop epilepsy from eating hot pot? The old man reassured him, ye young master, I'm fine, I just. Before he could finish, he emitted a powerful aura. About to speak again, he intended to say, gentlemen, I understand, but Yin Yun quickly covered his mouth, saying, all right, we get it, you understand. Then thunder rumbled in the sky, and in the distance, someone floating in midair observed. It was Tian Wu's master, Dong Fang Su, who sighed and said, "Why did Gong Sun Yu and Su Chang Feng both break through at the same time? Could it be that this person pointed it out?" Dong Fang Su wondered aloud. The two elders then clasped their hands respectfully and said, "We owe this opportunity to Yi young master's assistance. In the future, if the young master has any instructions, we will absolutely not refuse." Yi Yun sighed and said, "I didn't really help much, so you two don't need to be so polite." Then Yi Yun yawned, feeling sleepy after eating and drinking, saying, "I'm feeling sleepy now, so I'll go inside and rest for a bit. You all can continue without me." Dong Fang Su then spoke, "Congratulations on your cultivation advancement, both of you. Did you improve because of the guidance from the expert?" Gua Yun intervened, asking them to keep their voices down because his master was resting. The two elders panicked and agreed to speak quietly until the expert woke up, at which point they would introduce themselves to him. Suddenly, Dong Fang Su exclaimed in horror, realizing that something was happening in the Tian Wu sect. Then a streak of golden light rushed toward them, and a disciple announced that the master of the Tin Van to Not Phuong Vu 3 sect wanted to seize the Tian Wu sect's spiritual resources. They have gathered hundreds of thousands of evil cultivators at the doorstep, and the Tian Wu sect's main defense is about to be breached. The elder shook his head and said, "The number of cultivators in the Tian Wu sect is not even 10,000, while the enemy has hundreds of thousands. How can we fight them?" He looked at the house and thought that only seeking help from an expert could solve this, but at that moment, the elder was stopped by the other two, saying they were not allowed to disturb Yi young master's rest. The enraged elder exclaimed, "Su Chang Feng, the lives of tens of thousands of members of Tian Wu sect are not as important as his sleep." Standing aside, Gong Sun Yu also said, "With just 100,000 evil cultivators, there's no need to bother the expert. Su and I are enough." Then, the elder instructed Su Yi to stay here while he went away for a bit, and later, the three of them all rushed off to seek assistance. At Tian Wu sect's location, the evil cultivators were attacking their main defense, and some had breached the gap and were infiltrating, killing like there was no one to oppose them. Dong Fang Su, alarmed, said that all these evil cultivators were at the mid and late stages of the condensation realm. Seeing the elder's concern, Gong Sun Yu stepped forward to speak. Let's not stir up the spirits of others. Watch how I drive away the enemy." The elder then gathered his spiritual energy into a purple lotus flower from the dianthus fire and hurled it at the evil cultivators, causing them to perish instantly. Pleased with himself, the elder said, "Su, my junior, what do you think of my technique? It's not bad, brother. Watch this." With those words, Su raised his sword to the sky, creating thunderous flashes. He then called forth myriad troops with a thunderous roar, striking down upon the evil cultivators, who cried out and scrambled to flee. Both sides, newly elevated in cultivation, were eager to display their prowess. "Witness my fire," exclaimed one. While the other continued to summon troops, leaving the master of the Tian Wu sect speechless, overwhelmed by the spectacle. He exclaimed that this was the divine scene the expert had previously pointed out. Just then, Gong Sun Yu's magical amulet glowed. Before he could answer, Su Yi warned, "Master, speak softly. Yi young master is about to wake up from the noise." The two elders were startled and quickly covered the mouths of the others to prevent any further disturbance. Dong Fang Su also became suspicious and asked what was happening, but Su Chang Feng quickly gestured for him to remain silent. Concerned, the two elders asked, "How is Yi young master now?" Su Yi replied that the young master was still sleeping, making the two elders break out in a cold sweat. Then, the two elders angrily scolded, "You fight and make noise, do you know that you have disturbed the young master's sleep?" The others wailed, "Damn it, you fight so fiercely that you're worried about disturbing someone else's sleep." Just then, all three were shocked to see a disturbance behind them. Behind them, three figures approached with ancient long knives, laughing, Dong Fang Su. "Today we will wipe out the Tian Wu sect." These three were the masters. Seeing this, The three elders felt a sense of impending trouble. The figure warned them to surrender the spiritual resources in exchange for their lives. As soon as he finished speaking, he was hit in the face by a scream saying, "This is so noisy." To see what happens next, stay tuned for the next episode. That's the end of the story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more updates. Hello everyone, I'm Lucy. Today I'll be reviewing the latest episode of the story for you all. Let's get into the main content of this story. At this time, while Yin Yun was sleeping, some members of the evil sect surrounded and attacked the Tian Wu sect, causing a loud disturbance that woke him up. Yin Yun rushed to the window and shouted loudly, "Are those guys over there building a house or something? How can they be so noisy? Don't they know people need to sleep?" After shouting for a while, Yin Yun also felt a headache with these people. "I can't even get a bit of peace while sleeping." Purple Sun sect master, Yang Wei, was horrified and asked, "Who is screaming so loudly?" He turned around to look. Suddenly feeling something was off, as if someone's gaze was fixed on him. He panicked and said, "Which expert is here? Why don't you reveal yourself to greet me?" Then, the other sect masters also turned around, their faces turning pale with fear. Oh my God, there was a giant golden holy dragon, many times larger than their ancient Jiao dragon. It roared angrily, "Whoever disturbs my master's rest must die." Below, the three of them along with a Jiao dragon were trembling in fear, and then it spewed out bursts of dragon energy, making it impossible for them to avoid and disappearing into nothingness. Dongfang Su at this moment also exclaimed in astonishment, "Is this the divine punishment of the expert? The evil sect members have already scattered before a single breath. This power is truly terrifying." Seeing him so frightened, Su Changfeng explained to him, "There's no trickery involved. This is just the consequence of anyone daring to disturb the expert's rest." Upon hearing this, Dongfang Su was on the verge of losing his wits, as he had once barged in to disturb the expert's sleep. "Oh my, I almost met my end there," he thought. Suddenly, a bright pillar of light accompanied by the sound of Buddhist chants resounded, "Those who slander the true Dharma, the Bodhisattva is compassionate." Illuminating the 5 realms with boundless light, relieving suffering and distress. Then, waves of chanting echoed throughout, audible to everyone. Meanwhile, as the two opposing sides were engaged in battle, they suddenly stopped. Dongfang Su also expressed surprise, "Why are the evil sect members behind us kneeling and trembling like that?" Each of them sobbed and lamented, "In such a beautiful world, why are we so reckless and childish?" Suddenly, amidst the tranquility, individuals who were once peaceful had joined this absurd sect and were now wielding clubs to engage in combat. "What in the world am I doing here? I just want to seek refuge in the Buddha's teachings to purify my mind and repent for my past mistakes," exclaimed one member. Dongfang Su stood nearby, startled. "What are they talking about? What kind of situation is this?" Meanwhile, Yin Yun was transcribing the Heart Sutra to alleviate his worries before going to sleep. The more he transcribed, the clearer the image of the Buddha appeared behind him. In a distant and snowy place, 2 girls sat on the ground while a voice questioned, "You say my son is dead?" "Yes. They killed sect master Purple Sun, Yang Wei. Then they went to Fu Yun Mountain to celebrate," replied another voice. The speaker was the ancestor of sect master Purple Sun sect, infuriated by the news. "Have they lost their minds? They killed my son and now they're celebrating." In another development, Yin Yun was saying, "I am originally from the school of Azure Dragon, adept at interpreting the fluctuations of yin and yang like divining the destiny of the universe." Gua Yun then interjected with a question. "Master, why don't you go watch Su Sect Master's 3-sect martial arts tournament?" Gua Yun asked. Yin Yun replied casually, "Although the tournament may have a prestigious reputation, it's not important to me. It's just a competition between 3 old men in the sky. I think they might be like a group of old folks practicing extreme martial arts for health benefits. Nothing too exciting to watch." I'd rather watch you perform pole dancing, master. As he finished speaking, Yin Yun picked up Pigsy's trident and joked, "It's better for you to stay at home and learn this from master. It will make you unbeatable." Seeing Yin Yun's impressive moves, the kid asked, "Is that true, master? And what kind of divine weapon is this?" Seeing that the boy asked the right question, Yin Yun continued with a multi-level explanation, "This is the trident, with a very ancient origin. It's the weapon that General Tian Peng Yuan Shui once used in legend." After a fiery dance, Yin Yun accidentally hit his own waist, causing a spinal injury. "Ouch, why is this so difficult?" he exclaimed. Trying to hide his embarrassment, he added, "Holding a sword or spear is the job for someone rough and tough, not suitable for you. So, I'll reconsider, and I'll teach my disciple to play the zither. It might also help in calming the heavens." "Bring the zither here for master," Yin Yun said. Hearing about learning the zither, Gua Yun immediately ran away, but was caught by Yin Yun. The kid shouted loudly, "Master, I want to learn martial arts instead." Seeing his disciple despising the musical instrument, Yin Yun explained patiently, "You don't understand. Music theory is also a superior form of martial arts. If you master it, you'll be even more formidable than using that trident." After successfully delivering his point, Gua Yun returned with a curious expression. "Is that true, master? Are you really that powerful?" he asked. "It seems like master needs to demonstrate a bit. It's time to tell you the story of the supreme martial arts we're using the celestial zither to suppress the 6 great sects," Yin Yun said. Then, Yin Yun picked up the zither and plucked the strings like playing a zither instead of hitting it. But his disciple was delighted to see his master showing off his skills. Meanwhile, Deau covered his ears and lay down in distress. "Oh my goodness! What's that noise? It's too hard to listen to," it groaned. Then it tried to run away, but Yin Yun caught its tail and said, "Deau, you shouldn't leave like that. The first activity of the sect must be attended by everyone." Deau, horrified, pleaded, "Please let me go, Grandpa." Yin Yun, with a mischievous look, thought to himself, despite his grumbling and hard-to-listen to complaints, Demau's appearance is truly the most adorable on this earth. While the master, disciple, and a dog were enjoying themselves, on the other side, the Purple Sun Patriarch had arrived. He stood listening for a while before saying, "What nonsense is this zither playing? How can my son die at the hands of this coward?" Then, he gathered his dark energy around the cauldron and declared, "I will flatten Fu Yun Mountain altogether." The woman next to him also rejoiced when she saw his Zijin cauldron. "I heard this cauldron can refine mountains, seas, and all things. It's an ancient divine weapon. Why worry about revenge?" she said excitedly. Meanwhile, Yin Yun was recounting the events of that year. This story revolves around the reappearance of the heaven demonic piano. The 6 great sects, driven by greed, wanted to claim it for themselves, leading to the heaven demonic piano making its appearance, he said. Gua Yun listened intently with wide eyes, while Deau wore a dark expression, thinking, "My master is rambling again." As Yin Yun continued his narration, a peak behind him gathered extreme dark energy. Despite this, he kept on. Huang Shuimei endured hardships to master the Tian Long Ba Yin, transforming into the 6-fingered demon piano, seeking revenge on the 6 great sects. Meanwhile, the woman scoffed, "This cunning fellow is about to meet his end, yet he's still spouting nonsense." Then Yin Yun said, "Just give her a string of the zither," and as he strummed it, a beam of light shot upward. This zither string had defeated numerous orthodox martial arts masters. Yet Yin Yun was unaware that he had just struck down the 2 ancient peaks. The shockwave flew toward the 2 jade rabbit sisters, causing them to retreat. The patriarch sneered coldly, "Being able to destroy my Zijin cauldron indeed shows some skill. 100 years ago, you might have stood a chance against me, but now, it's impossible." Then he unleashed his lethal energy and proclaimed, "This time, you will surely die," before charging towards Yin Yun. He was getting a bit flustered as he was telling the story and stumbled over his words. But in order to seize this moment to save himself, Yin Yun stood up, holding the zither to one side, and said, seeing the old ancestor's sinister moves, the six-fingered demon piano predicted and swiftly dodged the attack. This caused the old thief to miss his strike and leave him breathless. At that moment, Gua Yun, frightened, asked, "Who are you, and why did you suddenly appear here?" To which the patriarch replied, "I dominate the world, I am the old ancestor of the Purple Sun sect. Your life is forfeit." Yin Yun, seemingly ignoring the old ancestor's words, closed his eyes and continued playing the zither. The six-fingered demon piano turns the zither into a weapon, unleashing the Tian Long Ba Yin to its extreme. Although he broke through 3 times, the old ancestor was struck so hard that he couldn't resist, yet he still struggles on. The old ancestor of the Purple Sun sect, shocked, said, "His power is too strong." Then Yin Yun broke the final note, creating a beam of light that surged straight towards the old ancestor. After that, he said, the six-fingered demon piano completely defeated old ancestor Wei Tian, and then he conceded defeat. Yin Yun looked at his disciple and said, "How does this story sound to you?" Gua Yun asked earnestly. "The sect master has cultivated for hundreds of years, and just one tune from the zither has defeated him. Incredible, master. You're the most formidable person I've ever met, haha." Yin Yun chuckled in response to his disciple's praise. Outside, the 2 girls whispered to each other, the powerful aura emanating from the chamber indicates that Purple Sun's sect master has succeeded. "That's right, we've finally avenged our great enemy. Yin Yun must be dead." They hadn't finished speaking when Yin Yun turned around and asked, "Huh? You 2 know about me," startling them with fear. Then they saw the Purple Sun sect master kneeling motionless, which frightened them even more. Scratching his head, Yin Yun asked, "When did that guy arrive?" Gua Yun quickly explained, "When you were playing the zither, he claimed to be Purple Sun's sect master. Are you on the same side as him?" Witnessing this scene, the boy couldn't resist asking another question, making the 2 girls want to kneel and beg for mercy. One of them said, "We don't know him. He just..." "Oh, I was just passing by on my way to the market," one of the girls explained. "And I was drawn here by the sound of the zither," added the other. Yin Yun chuckled and said, "So you both enjoy my zither playing?" Thinking along those lines, Yin Yun sat down to play another piece because he thought, "Rare is the harmony, so I want to play another tune for these 2. Upon hearing this, both girls immediately knelt down, overwhelmed with emotion. "We're done for, at this rate, we might as well reincarnate," one of them lamented. Perplexed by their sudden actions, Yin Yun asked, "Why are you both kneeling?" Gua Yun, standing beside them, explained, "Master, they like to kneel to listen." Being urged by their disciple, both girls laughed through their tears and said, "Yes, yes, we enjoy kneeling to listen to the zither." "Oh my, the preferences of people from different worlds are indeed strange," remarked Yin Yun. He then played a piece of music that made the 2 girls clutch their heads in existential doubt. "Oh heavens, this is too hard to bear. Is he tormenting us? My life is about to end, and I have nothing left to regret, hoo," they cried. But then, to their surprise, the zither's music suddenly became less harsh, and even Deau happily trotted back. Yin Yun chuckled and said, "If my zither playing sounds harsh every time, Deau will truly get angry." Switching scenes, in the sky, there was a venerable monk. He was Hui Kong, a disciple of Zhuan Tian City. He remarked, "Is this where the holy light appears?" In his eyes, he saw a young man wielding holy light battling with the evil sect. He continued, "Encountering the return of the Holy Sun, we must be extremely careful." Then, he looked towards Mount Fu Yun and saw the light. He shouted, "Such holy light must mean the Holy Sun is inside." A while later, this group of monks landed in front of Yin Yun's house and said, "Please, Holy Sun, save the world." Gua Yun, confused, asked, "Which Holy Sun?" Are you looking for my master? He's not here, he went down the mountain to buy vegetables. Why are you shocked? At that moment, Yin Yun was riding a bike he got with free ship from Lucy, happily laughing, while Deau ran after him panting like a dog. That's the end of the story. If you enjoyed it, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive updates. Thank you, everyone. Hello everyone, it's Lucy here. Today, let's continue with the next episode of this series. In the previous episode, Yin Yun and Deau rode their $5 billion bike down the mountain to buy vegetables. At that moment, a person and a dog arrived in the nearby urban area. The first thing that caught Yin Yun's attention was the hustle and bustle of the place, vibrant and crowded. While enjoying the scenery, suddenly, some rascal dashed past, causing Deau to spin around thousands of times. Yin Yun, furious, clenched his fist and shouted, "Are you running so fast to get reincarnated?" Scaring our Deau out of his wits. "Do you believe I'll beat you to a pulp?" Just then, another person ran up from behind, but because he was too tired, he stopped and gasped as if being chased by a dog, saying, "Brother, there's something you don't know. It's more important than reincarnation." Then, waves of people ran like crazy towards the front, leaving Yin Yun astonished. Where are they going? Of course, they're going to get their fortunes told. Don't you know, brother? Later, there were two people sitting nearby to have their fortunes told. The man standing was Chu Han Yang, the second sect master of the Tian Su sect, and the person sitting wearing sunglasses was Yin Zhao, the sect master of the Tian Su sect. Another person below swayed and said, "The fortune-teller up there is incredibly accurate in predicting fate. I wonder how many people have sought him out for readings. Normally, it costs a fortune, but today it's free. Why not take advantage of it?" While he was speaking, Yin Yun lifted Deau effortlessly without any unnecessary movements. The other person asked in confusion, "Hey, buddy, why are you lifting this dog up?" In the blink of an eye, Yin Yun launched a rocket from his rear and vanished into thin air, leaving behind a remark, "I'm carrying the dog to run faster. Don't you see everyone's in a hurry?" The person froze, angrily shouting, "And you've been pretending to be calm all this time?" Then, everyone rushed to grab a spot to have their fortunes told. Because it was free, there was a long line waiting for their turn, stretching from one end of the village to the other. After a while, it was finally Yin Yun and Demau's turn. However, an unexpected event unfolded before them. A bald man carrying a pig laughed maniacally, saying, "Haha, it can give birth now. I've been waiting for this day for so long, haha." This statement left Yin Yun. "Oh my god, is this fortune-teller really that great? Male pigs can give birth now, don't even mention female pigs flying," Yin Yun exclaimed. But when it was his turn, the second sect master waved his hand and sighed, "He can't count, so go, next person." Then, he gestured to the others behind him and said, You, and you, it seems you won't get any answers today. Move along and make room for others." Hearing this, Yin Yun became furious and shouted, "Even male pigs can be calculated, why can't we? Stop talking nonsense, or I'll beat you right now." He replied, "You and it are not the same." Thinking the guy was saying he's inferior to a pig, Yin Yun angrily slammed the table. Ready to fight. He had been waiting here since afternoon for this free ticket, so he was extremely frustrated. Then, he turned to the old sect master and said, "We've been waiting in line for so long, and now you're saying it's not valid? Old man, give me a reasonable explanation, or I'll shut down your booth." Because of this, the old man had to explain, "You don't have cultivation. Not being a successful person, I reckon you're no different from zero. So, you should give up this spot for those who come later," the old man replied calmly. Yin Yun, infuriated, said, "Old man, are you using this fortune-telling session to attack our spirits?" The old man remained composed and said, "Donor, don't be sad, poor man has reasons for saying so. Half a month ago, poor man had a dream. I saw a scene of the world's calamity, thinking the end of the world was near, so I prepared to flee with my pillow. But suddenly, a saint appeared to save the world. He stood alone amidst the sea of deathly aura, emitting a dazzling light, dispersing the deathly aura. It made me feel assured that this saint could heal my eyes. The omen said that today a saint passed by here, so we have this free fortune-telling session. Otherwise, I charge a hefty fee for my readings. Then the old man pointed at the crowd and said, "You mortals who haven't joined the Daoist sect, how dare you claim to have great enlightenment?" Seeing the old man bragging, Yin Yun retorted, "My fate is determined by me, not by the heavens. Whatever my future enlightenment may be, it's not for you to decide, old man, understand?" As soon as he finished speaking, the old man chuckled and said, "Let's see if your fate is determined by you or not. Today, I will give you a fortune reading to show you what true divination is, like Lu Bowen." The second sect master then handed Yin Yun a pen and paper, inviting him to write. After receiving the pen and paper, Yin Yun spread out the paper and said, "All right." He then swiftly drew 2 lizards on the paper. After finishing, he and the second sect master held the paper up for everyone below to read. Immediately, someone quipped, "What is this? A dog's butt and then 5 chickens, followed by 5 dogs, and then 5 pigs. Does it mean a year is a year?" The people below burst into laughter at his comedic interpretation, irritating the old fortune teller who grumbled, "Such vulgar language. It seems I overestimated you." But as the old man touched the characters on the paper, he suddenly discovered something, and the swirling strands of destiny wrapped around them left him gaping in astonishment. Seeing the old man hesitate without a reaction for a long while, Yin Yun nudged him and said, "Hey, what's the verdict? Can you figure it out? Say something." Sweating profusely, the old man stammered, unable to utter a word. Seeing the old man's reaction, Yin Yun became furious and grabbed the old man's hand, pressing it onto the characters, and said, "You touched it once, let go. What's there for me to do? If one touch doesn't work, then touch dozens of times until it does." The old man panicked and exclaimed, "No, no, no." At this moment, the strong surge of destiny emitted a blinding light, causing the old man to grimace. After a while, those strands of destiny transformed into floating particles in front of him. Then the old man cried out in agony, clutching his head. Because of his foolish antics, he was now being swallowed, and stood there, spinning around like a street performer. Seeing him like that, Yin Yun turned to the crowd below and defended himself, saying, "He started crying and laughing on his own, it has nothing to do with me. I didn't do anything." The onlookers remained silent, slightly intimidated. Yin Yun turned back and observed, thinking to himself, could this be the legendary ancient cha-cha-cha dance? Then he placed his hands on the old man's shoulders and shouted, "Old man, snap out of it. Stop pretending to be crazy." But in the old man's eyes, Yin Yun appeared as a dazzling illusion of a saint, who swung a sword down and said, "You dare to disrespect a saintly strongman? Then you shall die." The old man spat out blood, his fingers pointing towards Yin Yun as he muttered, "He is the saint, he is indeed the saint." Shaking and trembling, he continued, 3 disasters and 5 appearances. The signs of imminent death are here. It seems escaping death is impossible. Blood continued to spurt from his mouth. Observing this scene, Yin Yun thought to himself, it seems every profession requires faith. This scamming technique is truly miraculous, old man. He approached and handed some coins to the old man, saying, "All right, I won't ask for the result anymore. Consider this payment for your performance earlier." The old man examined the coins and revealed the hidden dragon hexagram. Yin Yun stood tall before the old man and said, "Don't deceive people anymore in the future." With that, he turned and left. The old man's junior disciple asked, "Senior brother, are you all right? How do you feel now?" The old man suddenly burst into tears and said, "I understand now. Playing such tricks in front of a saint is no different from deceiving people. It's utterly devoid of principles. Then he slammed the divination basket to the ground and exclaimed, I won't divine anymore. In the future, I will not deceive others with fortune-telling anymore. At this moment, the crowd began to disperse, and Yin Yun sighed, saying, knowing one's mistakes and being able to correct them is the most valuable, isn't it, Deau? Behind him, the old man stood there, suddenly enlightened, exclaiming loudly, the great Deau preaches non-attachment. So that's it, I understand now. Yin Yun walked towards the city gate, with the old man chasing after him, shouting, young master, please stop. Two people blocked Yin Yun's path and clasped their hands, saying, two senior brothers, we want to apprentice under you. Before they could finish, Yin Yun shouted. Stop it. Both of you quit this act. I've had enough. Yin Yun turned away and said, I don't take on older disciples like that, and don't ask why. Somehow, the old man had approached closely and raised his head to ask, may I ask if young master can cure my eyes? Because the old man had startled Yin Yun, he snapped back, go away. How would I know how to cure eyes? But upon looking into the old man's eyes, Yin Yun reconsidered, your condition might be age-related cataracts. Then, Yin Yun glanced at the fruit stand and picked a type of fruit. After choosing, he threw a mango towards the old man and said, you need to increase your intake of vitamin C. The old man was astonished and exclaimed, what kind of diluted porridge is this? But after taking the ripe mango, it appeared to him as a type of rare herb called the heaven fire spirit fruit. The old man couldn't believe his eyes because, at that moment, he could see again. He shouted loudly and knelt down, saying, indeed, the saint has cured my eyes. I'm no longer blind. Watching from a distance, Yin Yun shook his head and said, vitamin C truly works wonders, switching scenes to a certain house, inside which a girl was sobbing uncontrollably, saying, mother, you should have crushed me to death long ago. Hoo, crushing one person could have prevented a disaster like me. Better than leaving me alive to harm the Song family above and below. Beside the girl were two people heavily bandaged, one likely already deceased, the other leaning against a pillar motionless. The girl turned and said, Master, I know you wanted to find a cauldron for senior brother and didn't intend harm to me, but I've ended up in this tragic situation because of me. After speaking, she attempted to hang herself but managed to say a few more words, it's my fault, mother. I'll go down to the golden stream to report to you. Hoo. Then, she kicked the chair to hang herself. But unfortunately, the wooden beam she tried to hang herself on broke into two pieces, resulting in her failed suicide attempt. She cried out, Hoo, why, oh why, from the moment I was born, misfortune has been clinging to me. Even when I want to die, I can't. Why is it like this? At that moment, someone rushed in through the door and exclaimed, eldest niece, you're saved, you're saved. Your disaster is about to be saved. However, the old man was unaware that a signboard was about to fall on his head, but fortunately, he managed to dodge it in time, though he suffered a head injury. The girl cried bitterly and said, blind uncle, don't bother about me. Wherever I go, disaster will follow. Even in death, it won't stop. Blind uncle, if you come into contact with me, there will be a bloody disaster. Uncle, you don't need to save me anymore, okay? The old man smiled and said, I found that saint in my dream. Look, the saint has cured my eyes. Surely, he can dispel your physical disaster. Now, our second junior brother is following the saint. Let's go and seek help from the saint. Meanwhile, Yin Yun was dining with Deau in a noodle shop on the street. But only Deau was enjoying his meal, while Yin Yun had been waiting impatiently for ages, feeling increasingly hot. He shouted, hey, landlady, is my noodles ready yet? If you don't bring them up soon, my Deau here will finish his third meal by now. The landlady inside yelled back, coming right up, I'll be there in a jiffy. Then she turned back with a mischievous smile, intentionally delaying. Her face turned sinister as she thought, Ziri, I can't avenge you because of this idiot. Then she took out a vial and dropped a purple poison into the noodles. I'll use the most poisonous toxin to taint these noodles. Just a little touch will be enough to kill him. Yin Yun will definitely die from this poison. Avenging Jiao Air, she then brought the steaming hot bowl of purple smoke-infused noodles. The landlady, who was actually restrained, looked on helplessly. When Yin Yun saw the bowl of noodles, his mouth watered, and he said, "Is this from a different world? Why is it purple?" The landlady brushed it off, saying, "It's a local specialty of mine." Yin Yun, without suspicion, eagerly picked up a chopstick and prepared to eat the dark purple noodles. Unbeknownst to him, behind Yin Yun, the landlady had transformed into a ferocious Jiao dragon head, thinking, "Eat it, and you'll die. Then I'll chew on your head, haha." Just then, out of the blue, Deau jumped on the table and threw the poison-filled bowl of noodles away. Jiao Dragon and Yin Yun were also astonished. She startled into reverting to her human form. Yin Yun, furious, directed her anger at Deau, scolding, "You wretched dog, dare to ruin my meal. Look at the good things you've done, why are you wagging your tail?" Then Yin Yun swayed, saying, "You apologize to the shop owner right away." Witnessing the intense argument between a human and a dog, so she intervened, saying, "There's nothing wrong with this little dog, it's just being a little naughty. It's okay, we can cook another pot of noodles. Young master, don't be angry." As she walked away, she muttered to herself, "This darn dog, wasting half of my old fetuses were extremely toxic. No matter, I'll still be immortal after all. Half of Jiao poison still resides within my old body." Then she continued cooking the soup and added the poison. At this moment, Blind Lao also found Yin Yun's table and said, "Saint, this is the saint himself, coming even to a noodle shop, truly extraordinary." As they approached, the girl noticed something unusual inside and exclaimed, "Blind uncle, is that Jiao Dragon? What's that gathering over there?" The old man, startled, replied, "What? Oh no, this doesn't look good. She might be plotting against the saint. We must stop her." Then he hurried off to inform Yin Yun. Suddenly, a horse-drawn carriage rushed in, unable to brake in time, and he got a ticket to fly away to the wilderness. At that moment, Yin Yun also spotted something new flying by and inquired about it, but she was dismissed with, "Nothing's flying by, young master, you must be dizzy." Yin Yun glanced around and remarked, "Seems quite lively outside. I wonder what's going on out there." Seeing Yin Yun hesitating, she stammered, "You should eat the noodles first, haven't they been poisoned for a long time?" Yin Yun turned around and asked, "Oh, what's not poisonous?" She sweated nervously and said, "No, poison means cold, haha, because the local word is used like that here, so don't worry about it." Meanwhile, the girl sat outside, wailing like rain, "Blind uncle is doomed because of me, hoo-hoo." The old man got up from the wreckage and said, "I'm fine, don't mind me. Hurry, go save the saint." At that moment, she wiped away her tears and nodded vigorously. Then she hurried to stop Yin Yun from eating that bowl of toxic noodles. Meanwhile, Yin Yun was still pondering, if the poison is gone, does it mean it's cold? The locals here have quite an interesting way of talking. Luckily, the girl arrived just in time to shout, "Don't eat that, it's..." Before she could finish her sentence, a column of water shot straight into the sky and she was gone without even seeing her breath. However, it was precisely because of this that Yin Yun was startled and dropped the bowl of toxic noodles. Jiao Dragon, who was next to her, saw that, so she also turned pale and thought, "It's all over now. All the effort I've put in is wasted." Outside, the girl kept insisting that Yin Yun shouldn't eat the noodles, but the water poured into his mouth so he couldn't speak. Yin Yun saw this scene and opened his eyes wide in surprise. Then Yin Yun turned to the shop owner and said, "Is this some kind of performance art of your noodle shop?" Hearing this, the shop owner trembled with anger, but at that moment, Yin Yun noticed, "Why is the bowl of noodles spilled again? It's really unlucky, haven't even taken a bite yet, and it's already spilled. The girl didn't give up because if Yin Yun didn't die from the poison, she wouldn't stop. No worries, let housemaids prepare another bowl of noodles for the officer. Yin Yun stepped outside and said, "Oh, why don't you let your vaudeville staff down?" "Because I think playing like that means drinking too much water," she angrily walked away and replied to Yin Yun, "That's okay, officer, don't worry." Inside, she slammed the wall and muttered, "Really hateful, wasting my poisonous Jiao dragon, I hate it." Her face turned as pale as an 80-year-old woman's. "One drop of Jiao dragon poison is not enough in my body, this time I have to poison this damn Yin Yun to death." On the outside, Yin Yun was still enjoying the spectacle and the breeze. A moment later, the person returned with another bowl of noodles, saying, "Officer, the noodles are ready, dig in." As Yin Yun turned, horrified, "Oh my goodness. Why do you look so terrifying?" She quickly wiped with a towel and retorted, "It's too hot in the kitchen, melted off all of my makeup." Yin Yun picked up a chopstick, ready to eat, but still didn't forget to tease her, "Your makeup is as thick as concrete, maybe you should go for a more natural look to avoid scaring people away." She glanced over with a grimace and said, "The dead have the upper hand, so whatever you say goes." Hungry and devouring her meal, Yin Yun didn't catch what she said clearly and asked, "What's the big deal? Your noodles are delicious. Can you make me another bowl?" At this, she panicked, thinking, "Oh my, he's not dead, not even affected at all. How did this happen?" Because of this thought, she picked up the remaining bowl of noodles, licked a bit of the broth, and thought, "Has the poison lost its potency?" Then she recoiled, gagging in disgust, ugh, because the disgustingness of the noodles she made her look even older than before. Yin Yun turned to her and exclaimed, "Goodness, are you possessed?" Yin Yun swiftly pushed her back into the kitchen and said, "I told you to remove your makeup, the cosmetics here contain lead, easily poisoning you, now you look even more dreadful." Driven by anger, she revealed her true form and rushed forward, shouting, "I might be able to die, but I absolutely cannot tolerate humiliation. Yin Yun, prepare to die." Hearing this, Yin Yun walked out casually, swaying, "Stop being delusional. Sell your noodles, earn some money, buy a mirror to reflect upon yourself, then find a doctor to fix it. Looking like this, no guests would dare come and eat." Yin Yun turned back, intending to give her some banknotes, but she rushed forward. Then, those banknotes transformed, each line shimmering with a golden glow, striking her directly and causing her to vanish into thin air. Yin Yun was astonished, thinking, "Did I do this? It's miraculous. When did I become this powerful without even realizing it?" Outside, Blind Lao witnessed this scene and exclaimed, "Killing Jiao Dragon without even recognizing it, this is the extent of the terrorizing power." His granddaughter was also surprised that her disaster of a body had been suppressed. They approached, clasping their hands and saying, "Thank you, Saint, for unblocking our disaster. Your divine power is boundless, and we humble beings are in awe." As they finished speaking, Deau jumped onto the table and looked at them. Deau transmitted, "Our master is refining his body. Please don't expose his identity. Otherwise, this time next year, it will be the anniversary of both of your funerals alongside that Jiao dragon." Startled, they nodded in understanding. Yin Yun walked through the wreckage and said, "That's not right. Why did the noodle shop owner suddenly turn into a monster?" Blind Lao responded, "Perhaps that Jiao dragon transformed into the appearance of the noodle shop owner here and acted majestically, but because he did many evil things, he was punished by lightning, young master." Yin Yun turned back to question, "Are you saying I didn't display divine prowess to defeat her? You also said before that I have magical powers, isn't that because the villain is a fraud? I don't believe it, I'm handsome like this, I must have an extraordinary background." While they were still discussing, Deau was manifesting its soul outside, then entered the body of the noodle shop owner. In this form, Deau emerged and shouted, "Stop making noise. Haven't you ever seen sisters fighting? My younger sister have a condition called schizophrenia. We often fight like this. Yun pondered, schizophrenia? Do people from different worlds follow such trends? Don't know a word, hot. Then, Deau, in the form of the shop owner, pushed Yun outside and said, being scared as an officer is due a little store, so consider this money as compensation. Yun chuckled and said, there's no need for that, haha. At this moment, the Song family girl also turned and said, blind uncle. Young master has cured my disaster. I promise that whoever unblocks my disaster, I will marry them. In gratitude, Roer is willing to marry young master as a token of appreciation. Outside, upon hearing this, Yun couldn't stop sneezing. Then, Yun recalled the recent incident where someone demanded to marry him as gratitude, and now another one came along. In this different world, is it customary to marry as gratitude for helping others? Feeling the impending crisis, Yun swiftly put a wheel in his feet and ran all the way. After running for a while, Yun managed to shake her off. Continuing on, suddenly a monk approached, asking, Donor, please halt. Have you encountered our sect's holy son? He then presented a painting, causing Yun to break out in a cold sweat, thinking, oh, what a hideous demon. Who could recognize this? Yun calmly replied, I have never met you, young master should still ask someone else. Young monk Hui Kong thanks donor. Yun walked away, silently thinking, quite troublesome, thankfully it's not my disciple. I'll just put it away in the forbidden chamber. If the outside world finds out about such an ugly drawing, it would be embarrassing. Then, as the monk started saying, young monk still wants to ask. Yun lost all composure and dashed away. Later, Yun pondered again, if my disciple can't even draw as well as others, what should I do? Then, Yun returned to his place. There, he and his disciple were in the study, with his disciple holding books, saying, Xiao Yun. Don't say master doesn't care about you. I found many books for you outside. Suddenly, Yun noticed a glowing purple book on the shelf. Marveling at not knowing what it was. After taking it down and opening it, he found incomprehensible lines. From the beginning of history and earth, people gradually began to chase away animals and stir-fry onions, people sitting with hands on fire, immortals dressed in the Yin and Yang monsters of Yin and Yang front hall. At that moment, in a desolate, dark place with no signs of life, a voice echoed, Who is it, who dares to tell me the ancient mystery? This place was the sealed palace of Na Saint Bosun, where a three-headed, six-armed demon was bound in chains. He suddenly realized that the seal had cracked, so he exerted force to break the remaining chains, laughing loudly before exiting the forbidden area. Then he said, Where are the three saints of Western Zen? Bosun swears to eradicate your sect. 3 monks rushed forward to confront him. Bosun should not try to create evil in the human world, indeed, and you should quickly submit to being bound. Bosun glanced at them and then struck one with a blow, causing blood to spray. The monk, undeterred, said, If the 3 holy sons are still in battle, another holy son will come to deal with you. Oh, so fierce, he laughed, I'll defeat the holy sons first, then destroy the saint sect to see what you can do against me. Meanwhile, in the city, everyone noticed dark clouds swirling, and Hui Kong shouted, It's the evil Saint Bosun, everyone, prepare for battle. A golden spell appeared to shield against this evil saint. Below, Yun was engrossed in studying the book on the road, while others fought fiercely in the sky. Behind Yun, Song Roer had also found him. The evil Saint Bosun relentlessly attacked the monks above, and then 2 of them, unable to withstand, were knocked down to the ground. At this moment, Hui Kong was also gathering his spiritual energy to prepare for a showdown with him. A blow to the back of the evil Saint Bosun seemed to be decisive, but he turned back, looking at Hui Kong with disdain, saying, Are you scratching an itch for me? Mosquitoes biting stainless steel? Shocked, Hui Kong couldn't react in time and was grabbed by him, then received a punch from the evil Saint Bosun and fell backward. Below, Roer was still chasing after the call of the bird, or rather, the heartbeat, just as she was about to catch up. Hui Kong fell from the sky, crashing into the fruit stand, creating a cloud of dust between them. Yin Yun turned back, puzzled, thinking, what about Song Roer? Did I mishear? I thought she had caught up with me, but it seems I was mistaken. That's all for now, folks. See you in the next episode. At that moment, when Yin Yun saw the fruit vendor with such fresh and delicious fruits, Yin Yun decided to buy some peaches to satisfy this hunger, if walking any longer, might faint right there. While Yin Yun was busy buying fruits, behind, Hui Kong was beaten face down by Bosun. To finish him off, Bosun unleashed a fatal blow that even created a hole in the wall behind them. However, because of his action, Yin Yun noticed and kept asking, Master Hui Kong, are you dancing? But dancing while bleeding like that seems strange. You should warm up with some morning exercises to loosen your muscles beforehand. Otherwise, dancing might lead to injuries. Finishing his sentence, Yin Yun demonstrated the steps for him. First, lift your left foot forward, then extend your arms straight. Next, raise your middle foot, and finally, lift your right foot. Just lift all 3 feet at once, and you'll succeed. Even in the eyes of brothers, Yin Yun seemed to be dancing with fire. In Hui Kong's eyes, it appeared as though Yin Yun was using ancient martial arts to instruct him. Thank you, Holy Son, for enlightening me. I understand now. With those words, he folded his hands and began the process of understanding. Through this process, the protagonist's aura converged within him. 30 seconds later, Bosun was bleeding profusely and thrown far away. Yin Yun swiftly avoided him, knowing that a direct collision with him would only result in calling for emergency services. Despite his severe injuries, he refused to accept defeat. How could I lose? Yin Yun saw his insolent appearance and immediately complained. I never thought such a valiant man like you, a great gentleman, would refuse to admit defeat. You should know that you can't accept even winning or losing normally, so how can you progress? With these words, Bosun seemed to understand everything. He then thanked Yin Yun profusely. Thank you, kind sir, for your guidance. If I have the chance, I'll treat you to fried chicken with salt and green chili. No need for that, it's just a small matter. Besides, I only enjoy eating 7-course dog meat, not chicken. After finishing his words, Yin Yun promptly left, but just a few steps away, the unfortunate demon, Song Roer, unexpectedly returned from the grave. She then proposed another deal as compensation. Are you serious? Don't bully me when you see me being gentle. If you dare to come forward again, I'll ask my long-haired Tibetan clam to play with you. Upon hearing this, Deau also woofed a few times to express agreement with his master's sentiment. However, as soon as he finished woofing, 2 other strong individuals suddenly rushed in and started fighting like mad. Their powers created 2 streams of light, one golden and one red, colliding relentlessly. In a moment of carelessness, Dong Fang Su was struck, bleeding profusely and thrown backward. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the 3 unique old men unleashed a few more killing blows. Dong Fang, with a full force strike from the god refining, you must try to defend yourself. When he saw the attack coming towards him, Dong Fang Su was stunned. A full force strike from the great energy god refining can split mountains and change the sea. How can I defend against that? But just as he thought this, Deau and Yin Yun unexpectedly rushed out to greet him. Deau, don't run around. I've already watered that crazy girl. Let's go back home. The 2 strong individuals were astonished to see Yin Yun play it stupid like that. Then the old man's attack landed on Yin Yun, but it was peculiar, as if a mosquito had bitten stainless inox without causing any harm. Yin Yun turned around and cursed, who's the crazy one throwing things at my head? Is that old guy the one you threw at me? If you deny it, I'll play you to the limit, old man." The old man was also bitter. This little guy has no cultivation. How could he withstand a full-force strike from me? But as he thought about this, Yin Yun raised the ring and said, "Old man, at your age, you're still playing the game of throwing things randomly? Do you know how dangerous it is? If it doesn't hit a person, it will also hit flowers and grass." Seeing Yin Yun's momentum, the old man broke into a cold sweat. But while he was still frightened, Dong Fong Su suddenly approached to plead, "Young master, could you lend me the ancient time spiritual weapon in your hand to see if it works?" But before he could finish his sentence, the unfortunate girl also caught up, and because he was too scared of her mischievousness. So at that moment, Yin Yun decided to just give him the ring because to him, it wasn't any kind of spiritual weapon, it was just an ordinary ring. But think about it, when the ring fell to the ground and produced such a terrifying spiritual weapon, how could it be an ordinary ring? 30 seconds after the ring fell to the ground, suddenly a red moonlight appeared and brought Yin Yun's group to a strange place. "Where is this? Why are we here?" The old man chuckled and said, "This must be a legendary secret realm. From now on, only that person can create this secret realm." After that, they all saw a majestic castle standing before them, and then there were sounds of music echoing around them. This type of fairy sound belongs to Great Zhou. This must be the secret realm of the ancient dynasty. What do you mean by the secret realm of the ancient dynasty? Can you explain further? Seeing Yin Yun's curiosity, Dong Fong Su slowly explained, "Legend has it that when the Zhou emperor passed away, he hid all his treasures in the secret realm. Whoever can discover it will have everything." Hearing this, the old man decided to propose a deal. "If you help me find it, I'll share it with you a portion. The other 9 parts are all mine." "Oh, what makes you dare to divide it like that?" "Haha, I base it on you being just a mortal, while that dimwit over there is too pathetic." "Old man, seriously? Are you not a mortal yourself, or are you just talking nonsense? You, little guy, you're quite bold. You should address me as senior, do you understand?" Seeing Yin Yun acting a bit foolish, Dong Fong Su stepped forward to remind, "Young master, that old man is not easy to provoke. He specializes in using poison, so you must be careful. If the young master needs, I can give my entire share to you." "Oh, so this guy is from the same sect as the poisonous Yang Feng. If that's the case then I have to give in." After chatting, Yin Yun stepped forward into the interior. Seeing this, the old man intended to stop him. "What are you planning? The secret realms of the great energy all have defensive formations. If you cause trouble, you'll lose your life just like that." "Ah, if that's the case, then please, senior, take care of it. I yield to you." Seeing Yin Yun behaving more respectfully, the old man also felt pleased and advanced. As soon as he reached the spot, he started to talk. "This golden barrier seems quite sophisticated. So, all of you retreat, let me handle this." "That's right, young master, step back, because the achievement of this formation by the old man can be said to be at its peak. He is famous for the 3 great techniques of breaking the barrier in the secret realm, earning him the nickname 3 Unique Old Man. While the two were chatting, he chanted the spell and squeezed it into the air. After squeezing it, he decided to run around to kick the magic formation into the air. Seeing his professional action, Yin Yun couldn't help but admire inwardly, indeed, a professional tomb raider. I must learn from him in the future. As Yin Yun just arrived, the old man instructed them. "Just follow my footsteps and enter, it's guaranteed to be safe and sound." However, as soon as he finished speaking, suddenly, some climbing vines sprouted from the ground, wrapping around him as if trying to pull him down to smell the soil. Then, waves of yellow-golden spiritual weapons besieged him, making him breathless. Yin Yun thought, is this some kind of flashy magic? Dong Fong Su also didn't understand anything but nodded repeatedly and said, "Sure." However, while the two were still sitting outside the corridor munching on melon seeds, suddenly, the old man lost his voice and cried out, "Save me, help me." However, due to the strong wind outside, Yin Yun misheard it as, "You are not allowed to enter." So, he replied, "All right, my senior, I'll wait for your permission to enter. But please hurry, senior, there are a lot of mosquitoes outside." But shortly after, inside, the old man discovered something suspicious, that this space, once a spell is cast, will rebound tenfold. Damn it, if it weren't for my intelligence, I'd probably be selling salt by now. Then, Yin Yun looked around and was startled because he couldn't see the old man anymore. At that moment, the old man was hiding by the door, thinking, "Damn it, there's no way I'm wasting my energy so you guys can sit idle and enjoy it. What's the point of that, little guy? I have to let you suffer for a while to avoid the crime." The old man was preparing to attack, but unexpectedly, Yin Yun pushed the door open and searched for him, causing the old man to get hit by the wooden door, breaking his nose. Then, Yin Yun noticed the old man sitting against the wall and asked, "Senior, you broke the barrier, why did you break it to this point? Do you have any great formations here?" The old man's face turned pale and he replied, No, it's just that I exerted too much force and got a bit tired, so I'm taking a break and enjoying a cup of tea." Because of this, Yin Yun led Dong Fang Su over to ask the old man, "Senior, did you successfully break the formation?" Shen brother has never failed when he takes action, indeed, he lives up to his reputation. Yin Yun also praised without hesitation and approached, "Senior, your skill is truly profound." As he finished speaking, Yin Yun reached the barrier to enter, causing the old man to panic and try to stop him. However, as Yin Yun's hand touched the barrier, it suddenly shattered into pieces and disappeared. The old man, infuriated, thought to himself, "What the devil? This little guy could easily break the formation, but instead, he's making fun of me, let's see if I'll play along and kill him." With that in mind, he moved forward and said, "It's quite dark here, so you should use this elephant-shaped flashlight to illuminate the area." Yin Yun didn't think much and was about to open it there, but the old man stopped him because if he did, both of them might end up selling papayas. Then, the old man stepped back several meters and said, "Now you can turn on the flashlight." He secretly thought, the spirit flame emitted from this object is exceptionally fierce and abnormal, with a counterattack 10 times stronger. "I don't believe it won't burn you two to death." At that moment, a dark aura was closing in on the two, but as soon as Yin Yun turned on the flashlight, it fled at the sight of the light. When it saw the old man, it immediately fiercely rushed into play. The old man was entangled by it and could not scream, so he could only lie helplessly in a heap. Inside, Dong Fang Su praised, "This flashlight is really handy, it's so bright." "Hey, where did the senior go?" "He probably can see in the dark and went to search for treasures elsewhere," replied Dong Fang Su. The old man struggled on the ground as the dark aura enveloped him. After crawling for a while, he saw Deau, so he immediately spoke, "Good dog, please call your master to come and save me." "Forget it, how can dogs understand human language?" "Okay, I'm done." To his surprise, Deau responded, "My master is currently transcending the mundane, so he's in a mortal body but not someone you can harm." Panicked, the old man exclaimed, "Spirit beast." Deau swiftly sucked away the dark aura to save the old man's life, then delivered a message, "If you can survive and escape from this secret realm, I'll overlook this incident." The old man was astonished, thinking, to be able to nurture such a great demon, then that little guy, oh no, that senior, what level of realm is he in? Meanwhile, Yin Yun kept shouting and calling for Deau, saying, "Dong Fang, old senior, where have you gone? Do you know how scared I am of ghosts?" Behind Yin Yun, a fierce battle between the spider spirits and the wasp was taking place. Yin Yun inadvertently threw the flashlight backward, injuring a small spider and causing the flashlight to short-circuit, which burned the spider black. Now, Yin Yun found the others and asked, "Senior, are you okay? Do you have spinal pain or something that makes you unable to walk?" Okay. Okay, don't call me senior, just call me the old man. Then Dong Fang Su said, young master, we encountered the lady who was chasing after you earlier at the secret mansion. She seems to be in trouble. What? What happened? The group was engrossed in conversation, unaware that behind them, a large python was lurking, ready to strike. Yin Yun turned and said, old man, are you all right? We need to go rescue her, to which the elder responded, I'm fine, let's go. We'll rescue her together. But at that moment, only 2 people and a dog could go, while the old man was being detained by the baby python for a drink. After a while, they arrived at the location. Roer was trapped in a massive water column. Seeing this, Dong Fang Su spoke up, I don't know how she got in there, but when Deau pulled me over here, she was already unconscious. Perhaps she found the ring. Earlier, when we entered, the ring was glowing, Yin Yun glanced over and said, quickly get her out, let it soak in water for a while and it won't help. I've tried every spell to break this wall, but it won't budge. Because of this, Yin Yun decided to use hot items to play. The steam-powered saw was brought up to the floor by Yin Yun. But in Dong Fang Su's eyes, it appeared as a divine weapon surpassing even God refining. Then Yin Yun started the saw and began to split the adjacent pillar. After a while, these obstacles were cut into pieces, shattered, and pushed out for Roer to escape. She lay motionless, and Yin Yun panicked, saying, she's dead, she's out of breath. Yin Yun muttered, saving a life is better than building at 7 temples. I can only perform CPR. As he leaned in to administer artificial respiration, due to waking up late this morning and forgetting to brush his teeth, she inadvertently sprayed water out like rain. She exclaimed in horror, young master, inside there is who. Before she could finish her sentence, Yin Yun asked, what's wrong with you? As the dust cleared, a colossal statue, as big as a building, appeared. She pointed at the statue and said, that has a face exactly like young master's, Dong Fang Su sighed, this is Zhou Emperor from ancient times. Yin Yun quickly caught on and said, oh my, could I be the reincarnation of Zhou Emperor? This is the end of the story, see you in the next episode. At that moment, Roer exclaimed in horror, even the nose, eyes, ears, and even the hair bun are exactly the same. Dong Fang Su quickly turned and joked, I told you a character like the young master must have an extraordinary background, but you didn't believe me. Haha, it's not necessarily true, don't say that, I'm so shy. Suddenly, a voice echoed from the statue above, everyone is busy, unprecedented, things are easy, hard to say. Yin Yun, you've finally arrived. Hearing this, Yin Yun panicked and hid behind Roer, saying, the stone statue can speak, it must have become a spirit. But how does it know about me? Seeing Yin Yun's confusion, Dong Fang Su explained softly, even ancient times' great powers, even after death, can leave behind a trace of remembrance that turns into a spirit formation in the secret realm. This stone statue is probably one of those spirit formations, young master. Oh, really? That makes me scared. The statue continued, the soul is in previous life, the body is in this life. Yin Yun, are you willing to accept my secret treasure from your past life? Hearing the word gift, Yin Yun joyfully shouted like crazy. Is it true that there's a secret treasure inheritance for me? Where, hurry up, I'm so excited, is it a rare gem or a secret manual skill? Upon hearing this, the statue burst into laughter, then activated a golden restriction to open the passage to the treasure trove. Inside a small cave were all sorts of dazzling treasures, but no one expected that this statue of Yin Yun was being manipulated by the lingering soul of the Zhou Emperor. He then said, I possess secret manual skills passed down through generations, divine weapons forged from ancient times, and even celestial chi symbolizing power. Yin Yun then ran straight to the wall and climbed up like a monkey, saying, Fortune has smiled upon me, everything is mine. After reaching the place, Yin Yun curiously asked, "Can I take everything inside?" "Of course, you can take whatever you want." At this point, the lingering soul approached Yin Yun and secretly thought, he will fall into an illusion once he enters this place. Once he comes into contact with the treasures, even the divine soul will fall into a coma. I'll seize this opportunity to usurp his body and return to the mortal world. Upon seeing this, Yin Yun sneered and said, "What is this? Selling people junk like this and still have the audacity to call it treasure? Broken pots, rusty swords, random calligraphy paintings, are considered treasures?" The lingering soul wondered, why didn't he fall for the trick? How is this possible? At that moment, Yin Yun had already thrown those things down below, causing the group below to be busy picking them up incessantly. "Precious jade, demon-slaying sword, they're all here," Dong Fong Su cried out. "These are ancient mental cultivation techniques. These are all valuable items that you can't buy even if you want to." Yin Yun continued to throw them down and said, "Nothing good about them. If you like, take them." Seeing his treasures being thrown away like garbage, the lingering soul became extremely angry and shouted, "You're so arrogant." Then he emitted a dazzling light and threw the other two into the rock wall. "You dare to underestimate my treasures, you deserve to die 1,000 deaths." Yin Yun looked over and curiously asked, "Why wasn't I present in my past life? Was it unnecessary?" The other, ashamed and angry, rushed to attack, not forgetting to boast, "I've been tolerating you for a long time, little guy, becoming my substitute is your honor." After just touching Yin Yun's forehead, he was horrified and thought, "What? This guy on the divine soul also has a restriction." Yin Yun was also puzzled by what had just happened. After the light faded, Yin Yun immediately wondered, why can't I see my past life anymore? Meanwhile, the other murmured to himself, "So annoying, he dared to destroy my external body, but it's okay. I've trained enough of these cultivators to return to my previous realm, comma." Just as he finished speaking, he activated purple spiritual energy to pull the group towards him. After everything went as planned, he laughed loudly and said, "For 100,000 years, you are the first one to disrupt my plans. Now, your friends are all in my hands. Kneel down and release your spiritual platform to me. Or else I'll kill them." Then, he shot a palm towards Yin Yun to capture him. Seeing him acting so aggressively, Yin Yun asked, "Why are you suddenly so angry? The relationship between us in past lives, present, and reincarnation, isn't it the same? What are you causing chaos for?" With Yin Yun's questioning, the other exploded in rage and shouted, "Idiot, you still don't understand. I'm not your past life." Then he pointed towards the mirror stuck on the wall below and said, "That beauty always remembers you, so I transformed into your appearance." He explained with an air of importance, but when he turned back, Yin Yun was nowhere to be seen. Only Yin Yun's voice questioning, "Is this the magic weapon you mentioned?" was heard. He turned back in horror and said, "No, don't touch it. Put it down quickly." Yin Yun held the Bagua mirror and asked, "Can this really transform things?" As soon as he finished speaking, Yin Yun used it to transform the other into a Superman electro-optic version of cultivating immortals, then turned the whole group into Doraemon, and even a mummy. Yin Yun kept laughing and playing, but suddenly the Bagua mirror lost its effect, making him think he had broken it. The wandering spirit had now turned into a black mist, crying tears that wouldn't come out. "Damn it! I've been cultivating the formation spirit so hard for so long, and you destroyed my external body, causing me to lose thousands of years of cultivation." Then Yin Yun approached to apologize, but it made the other continuously back away and shout, "What else do you want? Others come for treasures, but you come for my life. Why are you such a bastard?" As soon as he finished speaking, he threw all the piles of treasures of gold and silver and precious gems onto the ground, saying, "I've given you everything I have, now leave quickly." Yin Yun innocently stood by and said, "I don't want your life, I just wanted to see if I could transform more things, that's all." In the next scene, Yi Yun's group had returned home. After taking their share, Yi Yun spoke up, "Elder, according to our previous agreement, please take your 9 parts." As soon as he finished, the elder trembled and clasped his hands, saying, "I dare not, I dare not. It was young master who saved us, how could I dare to claim any reward? All these belong to the young master." Seeing the elder's enthusiasm, Yi Yun replied, "I appreciate your kindness, but I cannot accept scrap materials because my house has nowhere to dispose of them." Just then, Shia Yun led the Su sect master and his group in. Seeing them all, Yi Yun happily called them over to share the gifts. Then he looked over and asked, "Master Gong's son, have you been practicing late at night recently? Your complexion looks pale." The elder also touched his own cheek and said, "Thanks to your blessing, I just advanced to a higher realm. Is my complexion not good?" "Yes, indeed, your complexion doesn't look good at all, so you need some additional nourishment." Yi Yun threw a bunch of rare treasures to the elder, making him sway as he said, "Why give me these rare treasures?" After gifting the treasures to Master Gong's son, Yi Yun promptly went inside to fetch a shovel to speed things up, as carrying them would take longer and be more strenuous. He turned to say, "Both of you ventured with me, so these keepsakes are for you." Seeing they had a share, the 2 men shouted and cheered like mad, their hearts nearly flying out. Then Yi Yun turned to banter with Su's sect master, "You are the first friend I made when I came down from the mountain." Yi Yun has never treated friends shabbily. Because of this enthusiasm, the elder burst into tears and hugged Yi Yun, saying, "Yi young master, you're truly kind. My wife has never treated me as well as young master have." Yi Yun's face turned gray as he said, "Why are you using such an overterm? Could you change it to something else? For example, father would do, why bring up wife? As for this hairpin, of course it's for." Before he finished her sentence, the 2 girls rushed forward to receive theirs. "Young master, you saved my life, and I've long decided to repay your kindness with my body." Hearing this, Roer was astonished and asked, "Are you also repaying your debt with your body?" Then the 2 sisters spoke in unison, "Young master, between the 2 of us, whom have you chosen?" Yi Yun wiped his sweat and said, "I don't choose anyone." Then the 2 looked at each other and said, "Young master and Gong's son sect master are equals, and by sister is the young master's great-grandchildren, so how can she repay with her body?" "Well, your blind uncle's niece. And uncle respects young master as his master, so she should call young master be master too. How can she repay with her body?" Yi Yun, seeing the heated argument between the 2, was taken aback and called out, "Shia Yun, where are you? Come settle this." After a while, the group sat quietly at the table, waiting. Old Gong's son joked, "Last time I ate the fish stew of young master, I made a breakthrough, so if we can have stew again, that would be great." At this point, Shia Yun brought a jug of wine and said, "Everyone, the grilled meat will take a few more minutes, so master asked me to invite you to have some wine first." The old Taoist praised, "This is the essence of 1,000 years in the secret realm, worth more than 1,000 gold coins," and the other 2 old men kept expressing their gratitude. Over by the grill, Yi Yun overheard their conversation. "Why is it worth more than 1,000 gold coins? These people from a different world really talk too pompous, After taking a sip, the old monk said excitedly as if he was flying, "Wow, this wine is truly remarkable." Suddenly, a column of golden light shot straight into the sky, and each person in there lost their voice. "I understand now, I've made a breakthrough," exclaimed one. Roer swayed and said, "I've mastered the power of disaster." In the courtyard, chaos ensued among the eccentric old men. Some danced naked, some people seemed to gain strength and stood there like a peacock, beating their chest. The 2 girls hugged each other, rubbing a few big round murder weapons. Seeing this scene from afar, Yi Yun was horrified. "I suspect you all drank fake wine, and the side effect is mass hysteria. Yin Yun held his head and blamed, cheap stuff is always garbage. If these people continue to riot like that, my house will probably become a ruin. Thinking like that, Yin Yun quickly brought out the fire truck to spray water on them to wake them up. Roer, still not understanding its essence, was a bit dazed. Just then, the other girl ran over and pushed her away. Roer fell out and said, "Young master, I'm cultivating. I'm too hot. Young master please sprays me." After being doused with water to extinguish the fire, she became quite excited. Yin Yun, astonished, thought, "Wow, even this, and you still want to snatch it?" The Taoist was shocked because this spring water was spiritual liquid. Then everyone rushed in like crazy to bathe. Yin Yun kept admonishing them, "This isn't a water splashing festival. You guys shouldn't play such ridiculous games." After the water frolic, Yin Yun was fishing by the stream for the evening meal. Suddenly, Roer ran over in a panic, saying, "Young master, something's wrong. Shia Yun has been kidnapped." "What?" Just now, a man in a red robe set a rock barrier at the foot of the mountain. Shia Yun kicked it away in a hurry, and the man in red said, "Little guy, with such talent, why not join us?" Then he hit me and took Shia Yun away. At that moment, Yin Yun, along with Roer and Deau, caught up with the kidnapper. Shia Yun tried to call out, but the man in red quickly gagged. He took out his iPhone 15 Pro Max and called the sect master, saying, "I've found a good seed for you. He might be able to kick away the Heaven Stone destiny." "Oh, really? Bring him to the market for me quickly then." Afterward, he teleported to the market. Shia Yun kept shouting, but his mouth was sealed shut, so he couldn't scream. And that's the end of the story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe to support me. Hello everyone, let's move on to the next 4 episodes, shall we? Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe to support me, so I'll have more motivation to make more videos. Right now, Yin Yun looked around and said, "I hear the sound of my junior brother. He must be nearby. Let's go find him, Meanwhile, the black-robed group was continuously recruiting. Tong Tian's sect is here to recruit disciples. Using this red rock to select disciples. That's the Heaven Stone destiny, that rock. You probably don't understand. This is the tradition of Tong Tian's sect. Every 3 years, Tong Tian's sect comes down the mountain to recruit disciples. The sect master of Tong Tian's sect is Meng Yuran. Who luckily can lift the Heaven Stone destiny will be accepted as direct disciples." As Yin Yun approached, he saw the group and turned to Roer, asking, "Is that him? The guy in the red robe with those stones is him." Upon confirmation, Yin Yun walked up and confronted him, saying, "Hey, hand over my disciple." The man thought to himself, another person thinks differently. Trying to attract attention, huh? With that thought, he said, "Lift the Heaven Stone destiny. Otherwise, you have no right to talk to me." Seeing him acting so cunningly, Yin Yun became quite angry and said, "Are you still acting like this? Now I will destroy this evil rock of yours and stop you from recruiting disciples." "Oh, so fierce, huh? The Heaven Stone destiny is a precious treasure that our sect fortune and mineral veins support each other. Even with an axe or a pickaxe, you can't break it." Then, Yin Yun used his giant hammer to smash the stone forcefully, but the guy kept mocking, "A single hammer can break it? Do you think our Tong Tian sect is?" Before he could finish, Yin Yun sent the red stone flying to the ground, making him startled and exclaim, "What the heck? How could you destroy my Heaven Stone destiny? Only the legendary transcendent saint could do that. Could this little guy be a regenerated saint?" After that, Yin Yun then stepped forward and demanded, "Now, hand over my disciples." Seeing Yin Yun as if he were a treasure, he said, "Disciple, although your mortal body is ordinary, your roots and bones are extraordinary, filled with great destiny. Your teeth and mouth are not bad either. Yin Yun, feeling alarmed, asked, "What are you doing?" "Men and women are not related, but I am a man, so I have nothing to sponsor." "All right, calm down. Let me ask you, do you have a master? Are you married, or are you still single? You damn pervert, I'll beat you to death. Hand over my disciples. Good boy, you'll be my disciples." At this point, Yin Yun turned back and said, "Can you lend me a weapon?" The people behind him turned pale and kept stepping back. Manhwa continued to approach. "Good boy, join our super sect. Whatever weapon you want, your master will give it to you." Never heard that Tong Tian sect was a bunch of perverts, but his appearance is really too perverted. Driven by anger, Yin Yun pretended to reach into space and pulled out a wood to confront him. "You damn perverted freak, go to hell. Great defense there, little guy. I am the sect master of Tong Tian sect. Quickly bow and pay respects to your master. I won't hold grudges against my future disciples. You perverted sect master, I've endured you for a long time. Alright then, I'll show you 2 moves compared to your 1, so you'll understand the depth of your master's skills. So fast, yet so fast that it creates many attack routes. But I'm not also a vegetarian, the wind is coming, he sees through my attacks. When you fight, you have to strike fast and accurately, not just for show, only know how to pretend. What's going on? Why can't I dodge his attacks? He's a monster, I'm no match for him anymore, I have to run, want to run. No chance, you damn perverted thief, return Gua Yun to me quickly." "What? I really didn't steal anyone, I just want to take in disciples, why are you attacking me?" At this point, he sat up and saw the words on the wood, then read them aloud. "Weighs bones, is the body of the husband who does not violate the body, and acts on the 6 types of strange things." After reading it, he experienced a strange transformation and exclaimed, "What's happening? Why has my strength skyrocketed like this? I understand now, it's physical training, my physical training has reached a new level." He then knelt down and said, "Expert, please strike me again." Seeing this foolish guy suddenly asking to be hit again, Yin Yun asked again to see if he misheard. "What did you just say?" "Say it again, expert, please strike me again." After hearing this, Yin Yun quickly took out his sandals and said, "I've never encountered such a request before, but I'll accommodate you." Just then, another person ran over and said, "Leader, why are you here?" "Gidge has found a good seed and is coming to the market." "Market? I haven't met Zoshir at the market yet." After that, Yin Yun then approached and grabbed his collar, questioning, "What kind of good seed? Is it an 8-year-old boy?" "Probably, bold, do you know who I am?" "This person is EU, the steward of the Tong Tian sect." Before he could finish, Manhwa intervened and scolded him, "Impudent, this person is an expert who can help us achieve greatness. Do not offend him." "Expert, my subordinate wanted to bring disciples into the sect, leading to a misunderstanding. I don't care about any misunderstanding, return my disciple to me." "Expert, this obedient disciple bought 1 and got 1 free, I'll take your disciple back and offer myself as your disciple instead, how about that?" At this point, Blind Uncle also ran over and said, "Protect the young master, shameless old man, over 300 years old and still pretending to be innocent, trying to deceive ye young master into accepting you as a disciple. If the young master doesn't want me, how could he want you? What if ye young master likes my taste? Stop arguing, just tell me where my disciple is." On this side, Roer sighed and said, "I don't know why, but I feel like there are 2 females and 1 male over there." The person in the red robe panicked and said, "This is bad, Gidge has been teleported to Beichuan Market, and he said the child has run away." "What? Beichuan Market, blind old man, you are indeed foolish. I just need to go to Beichuan to find the senior disciple of ye young master first." "Ye young master is my master," the other person shouted. "Leader, isn't Gua Yun in the north?" Blind Uncle also wondered, but Beichuan is in the north, why would he go south? Switching scenes, now at Gua Yun's place, the kid thought to himself, it's okay, my master will come find me. I just need to borrow someone else's jade slip to inform sect master Dongfang, and my master will definitely come to pick me up. Then Gua Yun pushed open the door and said, "Hello, can I borrow a jade slip?" The scene at this moment is two tribal people preparing to put a child into a pot to cook soup. He then said, "Can you let me eat you?" Gua Yun was horrified by what he saw. Meanwhile, blind uncle was fortune-telling and discovered something unfortunate. The old man shouted loudly, "This is bad, ye young master's disciple is in danger." Yin Yun calmly replied, "I know." Blind uncle was also surprised to hear Yin Yun say that he already knew. Roer was curious and asked, "Can young master also read ominous signs like blind uncle, and? What signs?" His heart is beating so fast, Shia Yun must be in danger for sure. The phone number you called is not in the service area. Everyone blames me for being a useless master. Now I don't know how scared Shia Yun must be. He's still just a child. At this moment, Gua Yun rushed forward and said, "I'll take you on." The others laughed and said, "Just you?" But after taking a punch, the guy started spewing blood and flew far away, knocking him out with one punch, leaving the others stunned. At this time, Gua Yun was also amazed and said, "Am I this powerful now? I thought my master didn't teach me anything, but it turns out he had subtly trained my bones." Then Gua Yun challenged the others to come back and fight him, while blind uncle exclaimed, "Young master, I've just calculated a hexagram. The disciple transforms danger into safety, it's a major omen." Yin Yun angrily said, "You're calculating hexagrams to deceive people again. Why not calculate ominous signs for yourself as well?" The old man swayed and said, "Why would young master say that?" "Because I'm about to beat you up." Right at that moment, the old man couldn't fly anymore and had to urgently land, causing Yin Yun and Deau to land on the ground for a long stretch. Scratching his head, he said, "Sorry, young master, our cultivation is too low, so we couldn't make it flying." Seeing the opportunity, Roer quickly said, "Young master, take off your pants so I can patch them up." Hearing this absurd suggestion, Yin Yun panicked and said, "Stay away from me, don't touch me. We can't help. We'll only cause more trouble for the young master. You guys step aside, let me get the treasure." Then Yin Yun took out a hot air balloon, and the two of them asked curiously, "What's this?" Yin Yun turned back and said, "I forgot to consider before, there are means of transportation now, no need to waste your cultivation. Is there really an immortal weapon in the world that doesn't need spiritual power or spiritual stones to activate? Are you a repeater?" Again, it's exactly the same, no difference in words. Young master is indeed amazing, but even this speed is too slow, isn't it? Complaining about being slow, alright, First Officer Deau, let's speed up. Hearing that, Deau also barked, "Does blind uncle still complain about being slow?" "No, no more complaints, this is already too fast, I've learned how to locate the phone. Young master, take a rest, let me handle it, no need, I can't sleep, I can only be at ease if I continuously monitor his heartbeat to ensure that the kid is still safe. Moreover, if we shorten the distance to a certain extent, we can make a call. I have to tell the kid, the master is always looking for him, the master never abandons him. King, your master used it to contact you later. Isn't it like jade slip?" "Yes, unfortunately, there's no signal." "What's the signal?" "I don't know either, the master hasn't said." Upon hearing this, the other person laughed and said, "There's no jade slip like that in the world, your master is deceiving you, he definitely doesn't need you anymore, you're talking nonsense, the master won't deceive me, the master won't abandon me, staying and becoming king for us is quite good, don't be heartbroken, king, the cannibal prince has never been humiliated like this before." Then he got so angry that he crushed the bottle, releasing a strange scent from inside. At this moment, many wild beasts were drawn to this scent, causing another person to exclaim in alarm, "King, there are wild beasts." The other promptly retorted, the true tribes can manipulate the wild beasts. Little demon, today I want you dead with no burial ground. Master, it seems the disciple can't wait any longer for you. As a lion pounced, aiming for Gua Yun, although he managed to dodge, unfortunately, the kid behind him wasn't as lucky. He was seized by the wild beasts, crying out, "King, save me." Just as a call came through, the master called his disciple to check in. As the sound rang out, the wild beasts halted in their tracks, each one suddenly terrified, clutching their heads and tumbling to the ground. Look, I knew my master wouldn't abandon me. He came from afar to find me. I must prepare a surprise for him. Let me use you all as a meal for my master, the other guy said in horror. It's impossible. No one can control the wild beasts once they've been influenced by cannibals. After they connected, the master and disciple continued to chatter, while the onlooker pondered, even without spiritual energy fluctuations, they can make calls. Could they be supreme divine beings? It was this thought that led him and the others to kneel down and say, "Gold bless the king. From now on, you are our deity." Master, last time you taught me the six-fingered demon piano, and I've learned it as a martial art. Oh, but back then, I was deceiving you. We've connected. My disciple is outside the 800-kilometer city walls. It only takes a day to fly there. The boy was still preparing the gifts. Luckily you guys found someone to join me in choosing whatever I wanted at that time. How can you be so shameless? Fox demon source realm, leopard demon spirit gathering realm, bear demo spirit training realm, who would dare to want that ye young master? At this moment, a spaceship arrived, and then Hui Kong introduced, "Ye young master, this is Li Fong Bai, from Dong Tu Desa." Li Fong Bai, a scholar from Desa. Made Yi Yin Yun ponder silently, is Dong Tu Desa a copy of Dong Tu De Tang? Mr. Li, this is the Yi young master you wanted to find me? For what purpose? The elder respectfully said, "Holy son, recently our Desa majesty has been entangled in a strange affair. We wish to invite the holy son to resolve it." What about the travel expenses? But I'm not some kind of holy son, and besides, my disciple is still in Beichuan waiting for me to pick him up. I can't go. Let's hurry and go. Young master, aren't you really going? Dong Tu Desa is the most prosperous place in the mainland. Becoming a distinguished guest of the one sitting on that golden throne will make you famous overnight. I heard that Desa has the Heaven Palace technique, which can help mortals cultivate martial arts. I also want to go see it, but I've already agreed with my disciple to go to Beichuan to pick him up tomorrow. I can't go this time. What's so difficult about this? Young master can use this teleportation talisman to quickly send someone to Beichuan to pick up your disciple. Blind uncle then took the item and said, "Young master, rest assured, this blind man will definitely bring Gua Yun back safely." Yi Yin Yun angrily said, "Who told you that? With something as good as a teleportation talisman, why bother flying?" The old man panicked and said, "Young master, forgive me. Teleportation talismans cost a lot of money, and this blind man doesn't have any." After a while, the group finally arrived at Chang'an. Seeing the beautiful scenery, the old man asked, "How do you find the scenery here?" "It's truly beautiful. Desa's imperial feast is even more beautiful than this scene. Young master has come at the right time. Today is the monthly imperial feast, with delicious food and wine. Oh, in that case, I must eat my fill. Young master, please come with me." Then the old man respectfully said, "Master Li Fong Bai leads holy son Yi Yin Yun to an audience with majesty." Yi Yin Yun also stepped forward to pay his respects. At this moment, an official said, "Aren't you supposed to be a holy son? Why do you still have hair on your head?" Following this remark, a woman with moles on both sides of her face, resembling old hags, chimed in, "If the venerable one has hair, do you eat dog meat?" Li Fong Bai, upon hearing these mocking remarks, stepped forward to reprimand, "Shut your mouth. Ye gentleman is a guest brought by me. Seeing this, Yun quickly intervened and thought, it seems that entering the Desa palace is not easy. Everyone wants to assert their authority. Yun then clarified, firstly, I'm not this person, and secondly, I'm not a holy son, so eating meat and drinking wine is normal. She immediately stabbed and said, all right, since the venerable one has hair, you must be impersonating the holy son, which is a punishable offense. Oh, what are you saying? From beginning to end, when did I claim to be a holy son? How could I impersonate one? Furthermore, he quoted a poem left by the Buddha, with the mind unconditioned, strive on, with the mind not tamed, let him tame, with the mind not tamed, let him tame, not taming the mind, let him meditate. It seemed that the young lady neither meditated nor refrained from speaking. This remark left her speechless and embarrassed. Then an old man holding a wine jug approached and said, the Holy Son of the West is famous for his good judgment, insight, and diplomacy, but your little guy only knows how to command with harsh words. Isn't it true that the sun sets over the western mountain range of the Holy Kingdom in the west? At this point, Hui Kong also rushed out to rebuke, truly ignorant. Have you never heard of the tale of the Holy Sun triumphing over the evil Saint Bosun? Or is your Desa dynasty fabricating stories now? Then both sides advanced to engage in verbal sparring. Yun immediately interjected, shut your mouths, all of you. Is this endless banter just to challenge me? Yun took out a loudspeaker and said. Or are you all ready to come up and face me? I'm prepared for any challenge. Exposed, the group fell silent, looking around nervously. On the Desa side, a group gathered, saying, no need for pretense. We've made our point. If that's the case, then I'll go first. Little guy, do you know who reigns supreme in the world? Of course, it's the everlasting dominion of His Majesty. There's nothing else. Then another elderly man approached, holding a painting, and said, the old man speaks wisely. Or should I step in to help you regain a bit of dignity? The enraged old man said, get lost. Then the other elderly man brought out the painting and said, this painting is so powerful and vivid that it almost escapes from the painting. It's my masterpiece in this life. Don't you think it's awesome? While the old man was still boasting, the crowd on this side gathered and began cheering. How can there be such a beautiful painting in the world? Truly the work of gods. Even the butterflies believe it's real. The old man cried tears of defeat, saying, I've truly lost, and losing this badly hurts. Then a couple approached to introduce themselves, I am the chess sage of Desa. And I am the tea sage of Desa. Please enlighten us. Young master. After a moment of contemplation, Yun came up with a way to deal with the tea sage. He handed her a cup of black sugar bubbled milk tea with all the toppings, and as soon as she took a sip, her eyes lit up. Oh my goodness, how delicious is this? Next came the performance of the chess sage, and afterward, Yun turned to little friend and activated the high-speed intelligence mode. Moments later, both of them were crying like rain. How is this possible? I've lost every chess match against him. I truly am a useless person. Hoo, this tea must only exist in heaven. It would be a waste not to drink bubble tea. Yun passed by and asked, I suppose you too are the book sage and poetry sage, am I right? No need for further explanation, I'll take the lead this time, then Yun swiftly penned down each character, soldiers without swords, oceans and skies, the water's edge reaches the heavens, the tide returns to the sea, soldiers march north to illuminate the bright road, honoring the hundreds of flowers, summoning the clear jade, the tomb becomes snow-covered. These verses transported the onlookers into another realm. Hui Kong also chimed in, saying, letters describing the universe and the Great Way. This is the essence of the Great Way that the young master has realized. After showcasing his skill, Yun asked, Majesty, how did you see my presentation? Have I passed your test? The elder replied, the verses are divine, the calligraphy is celestial. Please accept me as your disciple, become the imperial teacher of our Desa.